Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your hump day. It's Wednesday here on Hoop Spaces. You can be anywhere, but you're here giving us some of your valuable time, and we are grateful. Powered on YouTube by audiolabs.io. Head over to YouTube, click the subscribe button, and sharing the goodness that is Hoop Spaces. More content getting ready to come out on YouTube as well. Shout out down below everybody who pops in every day. Destiny, thank you for retweeting and liking the show card already. What's up, Mackenzie? It's good to see you too. We'll get got a lot to get to actually. I mean, so much so a couple people DM'd wondering why I don't have a couple other things up there. Hey, it is what it is. WNBA All-Star Game is on the way. The rosters have been given out. Talk about snubs, who you want to see, who you thought shouldn't have made it, maybe. Also, if you want, you can actually tap into some great W content creators, either here via Hoop Spaces or the Hoopstresses. And there's actually a couple already in the chat, so we'll highlight them, such as Robyn and K. Dot. All right. Thanks, everybody. We got about 30 seconds until we get started. Looking forward to a great conversation. Good morning. All right. As we go ahead and get ready, I want to give 5 shout outs first, right? These 5 people liked and retweeted it super early, and I really do appreciate it. Papi Chulo, Harvey, who's probably not in right now, he's at work, Viral Nico, Justin Patton, and I already shouted out Destiny. Thank you for liking and retweeting. It's what we need as content creators here on Twitter Spaces. 808s and SnackᏰreaks is up, ladies and gentlemen, and he had a great piece on the Chicago Sky. We'll get that up there for you to check out. And you know what? The Sky won again, and they're looking good. All right. Good morning, everybody. 808s. Good morning. How you doing? Oh wow! Right off the bat. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. If you don't want to come up and you do want to actually be involved, check out the chat box down on the bottom right. And just go ahead and hop in there and say what's up. Dany D is already in the chat box, so we'll say what's up to Dany. Real quick, this is going to be interesting. I am also awaiting a phone call sometime this week by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, and I'm hoping for some good news. All right, so we've got the WNBA All Star. We've got Dray versus Perk. The Lakers are stuck in Jalen Brunson. We also have trades this morning. Trades, and more trades. In fact, so many trades, that we need some more trades. So we'll get to that. Big moves in Detroit, clearing out cap space for the Knicks. Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks moving from the Big Apple to D-Town. New York gets some more cap space to sign Brunson. We got that to talk about. Another trade that just looks like it's processing through between the Washington Wizards and the Denver Nuggets, including Will Barton, Monte Morris for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ish Smith. We got some of that. And hey, we got the ideas that you want here for trades, because I tell you what, I think there's going to be a couple of larger blockbusters that actually will happen that we haven't talked about already. All right, so we got people up here already. 808s is back. Let's say good morning to 808s. You alive with us?
Good morning, man. I need people to stop calling me between the hours of 9 and 12. They know what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
808, are you awake?
KP, listen, man. This is like 5 months running of this joke, man.
He ain't gonna be awake come Thursday. That's all I gotta say.
For people that keep asking, like, why KP keep asking me why am I awake, there was a versus shout out to Froyo that I was supposed to do like 5-6 months ago.
You fell.
And it was like an 8 p.m. I think on a Monday, and I fell asleep and like slept through it. So
hey, it happens to the best of us. Shout out Smoothie King. They are not sponsoring the show, but I sure am having one.
Get you that lemon strawberry twist. Whew, man, it's a good day.
You know what? I actually went green today. Spinach, kale, mangoes, bananas, coconut water, protein powder.
Yeah,
Chris,
disgusting.
buy your own blender like I did.
Mine.
That's life.
Mine burnt out. I have to
Buy another one, Chris.
Dude,
Is this Domo?
You rich?
I exist on 26,000 a year, sending a kid to a school that costs 18 grand. Like Blender ain't in, is not in the cards anytime soon, man.
Yeah, but an $8 smoothie is.
I have a gift card. Like what? Like that's the funniest thing. Like people just assume that you spend money. Like, nah, I have a gift card, man. Like when people say, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, "Yo, load up the gift card." Like for real. Don't buy me anything I'm not going to use. Give me a gift card and put $20 on it every month. And that's what my dad does. Makes it easy. Y'all don't do that? All right.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Chris. We have gift cards on our phones now, so it's like Apple Pay thing.
You know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm old. 808.
Bro, you're not even 40 yet. Please stop calling yourself old.
Apparently, I'm old. We got KP.
Okay. We old, Chris.
Yeah, you are in your 20s, dude.
Almost. Come on, bro.
I got like 300 more days of being in my 20s, man. We almost out of here, baby.
All right, KP. Good morning. What's up, man? How you doing?
Top of the morning to everyone. Top of the morning. I haven't been on here for a while. Life is grand. Got some great news yesterday, but I'll explain that later. I'm going to steal a name from Jalen and Jacoby. I'm going to rename myself Derail Revis because I'm about to derail the conversation. Listen, guys, when an athlete, and I tweeted this, but it may not go through because I'm in a bad area. When an athlete gives him his opinion, or when they say or she says to me, that don't mean right. And just because you agree with them doesn't make you right. They can be wrong, just like you are always wrong. And I'm going to take my flowers, Chris, because I've been on this Twitter space. What Android released it? 11 months ago, 10 months ago, something like that. I deem myself the executive hater, and I've been living up to that moniker for a very long time. Quite greatly, I would add. I've been right for 11 months, Chris. 11 months I've been telling y'all these movies are mid. I've been telling y'all these players are mid. I've been telling y'all your food is mid. I've been telling y'all your TV shows are mid. And what's great, but y'all don't want to listen to the hater. Y'all be focused on the hater part. Y'all don't be focused on the executive part. The executive part, I'm always right, baby. As the great Tony Montana said, Scarface, I'm right even when I'm wrong. Shout out to TJ and everyone in the space.
Hey, that sounds a lot like me. I'm right because I say I'm right, and you're wrong because I say you're wrong. That's a game that I used to play with my son. It's a beautiful game. Also up top on stage, we have Domo, which everybody should probably follow Domo as we end probably the most important political time period over the next 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. It's insane. We don't do politics really at all here because it's kind of like a respite, right? But if you are into politics, like I am, follow Domo. He's a phenomenal follow to keep abreast of what's going on in popular political, culture today. Domo, good morning. Say good morning to the people.
Good morning. Yeah, the reason I wasn't here for the last week or so is because I was working around the clock because the Supreme Court is wilding as expected. I won't go too deep I'm not going to politics at all. All I will say about what Chris said was there's a difference between governance and politics. Politics takes years for it to unwind. Governance generally is effective immediate. What you've seen the last week is governance. What you will see over the next couple of years is politics. So everything will be okay. Everything will be fine. We're gonna win. That aside, I do want to say something, Chris, if I can, about basketball, if you don't mind, real quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of people on NBA Twitter and Spaces, and I don't really be around these NBA Twitter and Spaces streets. I really only come in here from time to time because in the evening I'm working, or giving 808s buckets come Thursday. We had to move it back because 808s lives in Narnia. Um, And I live like 15 minutes from our Cuban. 808 live in the country, so it's gonna be a little bit of a drive for him to get up here and all that. That being said, Draymond Green on a podcast that's now a TV show, as all podcasts are nowadays, gave what I thought was a masterful breakdown of the difference between the way Steph Curry played pre-KD and the way Steph Curry played post-KD, and exactly how it worked. He gave examples. He talked about how he watched Steph get in the gym. And he gave what I thought was a really, really important basketball take. And I get on Twitter and I see people doing the same thing that they claim they hate Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless for. When a future first ballot Hall of Famer, when a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year, and someone who I would argue probably watches Steph Curry play basketball, 250 days a year if you include training camp practices and I'm imagining random off-season runs, actually tells you something, and you can't do a left-handed layup to save your life, you should probably shut up and stop critiquing him. Like, stop pretending like you know more than these players because you're doing the same thing that you claim you hate.
Draymond can't do a left-handed layup. What are you talking about?
I'm sure you can do a left-handed layup.
You can
do up and under?
No, I said Draymond. Draymond can't do
it. You can see up top, ladies and gentlemen, the video clip that I put out there. My issue isn't with the criticism. My issue is with he started out way before this as saying that they didn't need Kevin Durant, right? And now he's coming back full circle saying that they indeed needed Kevin Durant. But then how he said they needed him, that perplexed me. I've been stuck on this shit since yesterday.
Is it Wally or is it one mic, Draymond?
Exactly, because if you can't get a bucket when you want to get a bucket, you don't get multiple double and triple teams ran at you, right? Like, if you go back in the history of the NBA, teams will let a player cook, using air quotes here, because they know that they're going to get locked in and the offense is going to get bogged down, and they don't double that guy. They had to double Steph all of the time. Like that is where there's a disconnect between what Draymond is saying as a player versus what every fan believes or has seen, or media members who've watched and believe or seen. I respect his analysis. My issue is the 180, and then saying that you're not doing the 180 when we all have bookmark tweets or video clips on the interweb proving you just pulled a 180. That's all.
Chris, can I respond to that?
Sure.
Okay. I tell 808s that he ain't gonna get a bucket on me. In our iMessage conversation yesterday, he said that nothing's gonna be easy, which y'all know all that means that he gonna foul the hell out of me.
Hold on. What we not gonna do is disparage my name while I'm right here.
I'm making a point.
He's not disparaging.
I'm just using an example. You told me that nothing was gonna be easy.
Yes, it isn't gonna foul you.
All that means is you're gonna foul me.
And you
got 2 inches on me. That's about it.
That you haven't played basketball in months. So,
hey, Dany, why are you stalking my tweets? Get off my timeline.
They're public, Negro. Damn.
Listen.
Hey, anyways, personally, I will not get cooked like that, but that's just me.
Listen, I don't care if it's been 8 months. Jesus Christ, let me stop. I'm good.
Y'all.
My point was,
y'all are
amongst friends or amongst enemies, which Draymond and KD, we can call them friends, enemies, teammates. You say things like they was on the bench. He was calling him out of his name. He said, "We don't need you." I've said a whole bunch of crazy stuff amongst friends, but in a different setting, in actual analysis, it's okay for him to say, "You know what? We need a KD." Anyone who watched Golden State in 16, the first thing I said was, "Dang, they really need another great wing scorer because Harrison Barnes ain't it, and Steph can't do it by himself." I watched them this last finals, and my thought was, Steph Curry's unlocking a different level of basketball that I don't think I've ever seen another human do. Like in right now, honestly, you know what my thing is? Man, the Warriors low-key could use another wing scorer who can get their own bucket at any given time. Because I don't know if Steph can do that again. Like I think that those are fair analysis. And just because Draymond cussed out KD and told him he was a whack lame and we don't need you, don't mean he was being honest. It means he was just angry. Like when 808 said he gonna hack me every time.
Well, the
I
issue
don't
is
expect that man to actually give me a concussion. I mean, he might after like the fourth bucket, but we don't know.
the issue, Domo.
The game videotaped is all I'm asking for. This is a simple, humble request from the people of Hoop Spaces that this game be videotaped.
The problem is that
Wait, what's being? No, we're not. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. We're getting video. Like that's. I've already. We need.
We got drones. We got drones.
Game happens.
Hoop Spaces has been sponsored.
Oops, my bad. I was trying to bring up Nightingale, then she put her hand down, causing me to mute everybody.
Hey, drones and light.
Yeah, it's Nightingale's fault.
Hey, the aerial view of my step back is gonna be so nasty.
Well, okay. So the problem though is Draymond has said this outside of the game.
Hey, Domo, how much you weigh, bro?
Bro, why are you trying to figure out how
Answer the question.
Because he needs to figure out how hard to foul you, Domo.
About 285-ish.
God damn. Okay.
285?
What? You got about 40 pounds on me.
I mean, shoot, if you're 280, like I'm 249.
I'm 6'2", 280.
Yeah, I'm like a fullback. I've been a fullback since I was like 13.
So 6 foot 250 is like Peyton Hillis, right?
Y'all are cute.
Yeah, I'm the shorter, light-skinned Peyton Hillis, right?
Y'all are so
nasty.
It's a little.
Like way legit put 100 pounds on me. Like when I graduated high school, I was this same height, 165.
Bro, I 165 since I was like 12.
That's crazy. In high school, I was 36.
I ran the
same.
I was just thick in high school.
I'm a walking refrigerator, literally and figuratively. Up next, you're gonna hear Shawn with a W from Live from the Mecca with Cedric Shine. And I got I don't know why I did this for so long. Anyway, actually I do. I'm not gonna get into that story tonight. 7:30. You want to be here for Live from the Mecca. They're gonna jump in to the moves that Leon Rose has made and the direction that the Knicks have been pushed towards. With trading Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel, clearing out cap space for Jalen Brunson, and some other great Knicks topics. We'll go to Shawn with a W. We also got Nightingale coming up next, who wants to add in her thoughts to the Draymond and Perk issue, and we got CJ the Unathletic as well. And everybody's favorite peanut gallery, Kashpiracies Flopaganda, will also hop in here and give his take. Shawn, go ahead, man. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. First, I actually wanted to respond to something Domo had said about NBA players. And I said this on the locker room last night. Like, NBA players, yes, Draymond Green has probably forgotten more about basketball than I would ever know. But NBA players have their biases and their blind spots. And not everything, just because an NBA player says something doesn't make it fact. For example, I guarantee you there are NBA players right now, if you said, who would you rather have, Russell Westbrook or Steph Curry? There are plenty of them that would say Russell Westbrook. And the reasons they give, it'd be like, he got that dog in him, or triple-double, or da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Like, so why I give Domo credit is that what we should do is watch the whole thing, the whole freaking clip, instead of just what happened on what got posted on the internet. And Domo, you are 1,000% right. There's so many people on here, especially with the freaking Knicks fans who hate Stephen A. Smith and act just like him on the internet. It is disgusting, and I am tired of that shit. Right? But with that being said, I have learned not to. I don't take NBA players' word like straight up because they have their biases too. Number one. Number two, I posted on the Jumbotron. You know, it's funny when I come here and people say, why do you want to talk about the Knicks? The Knicks are relevant. No one's talking about the Knicks. Look at that shit. Look at that shit that ESPN is posting right now. Like, this a relevant team no one cares about, but now is this the piece? Does this get them closer to a championship? Like, that is nasty behavior. It is absolutely disgusting. We are covered more differently and irrationally than any other team in the league. and it is ridiculous. Like, listen, I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is a god. In fact, I will not believe Jalen Brunson is a Knick until I see him holding up the damn jersey. However, the idea that the Knicks, who, remember, nobody wants to go to New York, the Knicks can't sign free agents. Ha ha.
You have to hire his dad to get him.
Hold on,
Please stop
let me
talking.
finish. Let me finish. I don't care what they had to do it. Does it matter what they had to do? No. But see, listen, all I'm gonna say is this. A lot of y'all are gonna look really nice in tank tops this summer because all the goalpost moving that you're gonna do this summer is gonna put you guys in amazing shape. Because it's gonna go from the Knicks can't sign free agents to you overpaid for him, even though he's a good point guard. He's the premier point guard available, and he's going to be signed with a contract of market value. But y'all are addicted to Knick slander. It's okay. Last thing I'm going to say, Chris Barnett, and I'm using your full government name because yesterday, the water carrying and caping that you did for the Toronto Raptors was absolutely disgusting. I am shocked. I am appalled. I am ashamed. It was unconscionable. It was unconstitutional. It was acid 9, acid 10, acid 11, acid 12. That was ridiculous, bro. And especially when you compare them to Miami Heat. And you know me, I'm a Knicks fan. It's F the Miami Heat forever and a day. But to act like the Raptors, and listen, the Raptors are a very good franchise. I wish my franchise was run by them. James Dolan's been trying to get Masai Ujiri in the building for a freaking decade. No disrespect to the Raptors. Like, the Raptors are legit, right? But to say that the Raptors are clear of the Heat because they drafted Jorge Garbajosa, what are we doing?
That is not.
What are we doing? You just started running off undrafted.
That was not what was said. What was said was that the Raptors draft and develop better. That's what was said. Don't twist my words, man. The Raptors draft and develop.
On tape, what was said was the Raptors are more of a model franchise than the Miami Heat. That was also said.
That was said by somebody else because I wouldn't use.
And you co-signed it. And I would say to this: if you ask somebody, what would you rather have as an NBA fan? The last 25 years of Raptors history or the last 25 years of Heat history? It is not
of Heat history through LeBron.
And it's not close because the Miami Heat have won 3 championships with guys like washed up Gary Payton, washed up Antoine Walker, washed up Jay Will. They're running Max Strus out there in the conference finals, and Gabe Vincent and Joel Anthony and freaking what's this other dude? Like, listen, if you want to say that the Toronto Raptors won the we get more undrafted players, yes, they get they get more undrafted players that win a cup that take a cup of coffee or two in the league than everyone else. But, and I wish Tony was here, to say that they are clear of Miami as a model franchise is insulting. And again, I am a Knicks fan. The Miami Heat can kiss my ass every single day and twice on Sunday. However, I will afford them the respect that they deserve. And I felt like you were just doing what you always do, which is to rile people up. So that was a good job by you. But if I hear you talk about Terrence Ross and Calderon, like, what are we doing?
They got DJ Miles.
Jose Calderon.
Yo, Mans was talking about dudes.
Jeremy Andre Bargnani. Like, come on, bro. What we doing?
Lynn got a championship ring in Toronto.
Playing 5 minutes in the finals, Chris.
Joel Anthony got a championship ring in Miami.
Greg Monroe.
Pittman got a championship ring in Miami.
I can just name this.
See, all right, we're moving on. Like, it's not, I don't get it. The literal question was, who drafts and develop players better? Like, give me that. Because right now, in the last 10 years, it's Bam, maybe Tyler Hero. Maybe. Anyway.
Who would those guys rather have? Jorge Garbajosa or Tyler Hero?
You only want to move on because you're wrong, Chris.
They would rather have
like Chris. I can just throw out random names too. That I can do that too.
They'd rather have OJ or OG Anunoby. That's who they'd rather have. Somebody who can rebound, defend, and shoot threes.
Chris, you're gonna be so brolic moving these goalposts all summer. I'm so proud of you. You're gonna be so brolic because it was who would you rather have? I'm gonna throw a name that you didn't tell me because I have to be right all the time.
Look, I'm laughing because Chris Boucher won a G League MVP and worked his way to the Raptors squad where he's now a valuable contributor.
Who cares about a G League MVP, Chris? Honestly.
What? What do you mean? Like that doesn't count?
What are you really hanging your hat on that?
Does that not count? Does that not show player development?
This was the D League 8 years ago. You would not care, bro.
Player development. Like that was the topic. Anyway, to another topic, WNBA All-Star starters were announced over a week ago. The rest of the roster has been.
Who did you say was G League MVP?
Chris Boucher.
I just looked that up. I just looked that up. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Oh, he won Defensive Player of the Year.
The lie detector determined. Oh, yes, he did. When the lie detector determined you're telling the truth, but you really tried to lie to us and tell us about G League MVPs. That is nasty.
Well, he was in the running. I didn't. Who?
I'm doing the science. Chris up here acting very Trumpian. I see what's going on.
Yo, Domo, you see the vibes.
I'm trying to talk WNBA, and like now y'all.
When I hear Chris comes in here and he speaks from the radical left corner.
We've got Nightingale, Dany D, CJD on Athletic. We're gonna get to them because of some Draymond and Golden State stuff. We also have W to talk about. The rest of the WNBA All Stars have been announced, and I believe 808s. You actually have a snub already, and you're actually pretty well on that. Ariel Atkins, Kalia Copper, Skylar Diggins-Smith. Let's see, Natasha Howard, Ryan Howard, Brianna Jones, Jewel Lloyd, Emma Messerman, Eric Kay, Alyssa Thomas, Courtney Vandersloot, and I'm missing somebody. Who 808s and anybody else here? Who were your snubs? Like there are 3 names being thrown out there yesterday. Anybody have any snubs for the WNBA All Stars?
Well, my first 2 snubs off rip. Kelsey Mitchell and Alicia Gray. I don't know how you average 17 points for 3 straight seasons like Kelsey does, and you don't get a single nod. And you look at what Alicia Gray's been doing for Dallas. Like, if it's not Enrique, it's her. That's literally it. She's been carrying that team game in and game out. And the fact that happens, and listen, I know I'm a Sky fan. I know I write about the team and talk about the team. Kalia's been having a great season, but she did not have an all-star first half of the season. I'm sorry. Like, the stats look good, but there have been other players that I feel that are more deserving. Kelsey's been the number 1 option in Indiana with however many rookies they got, losing all these games. They're putting up spectacular numbers on great efficiency. Alicia Gray, same deal. Like, I get it. And I saw a lot of defense of Kalia being the fact that she's a finals MVP and won the ring last year, and I get that. Like, that was great. But that was last season. This is this season. Like, I don't get that. And I know, like I said, I know I read about the team. I know I talk about the team. But I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. I'm sorry.
Also, 2019 G League Most Valuable Player, Chris Boucher. Give my man a point. And by my man, I'm talking about me. Because I'm right.
This is very Trumpian. I'm right because I say I am.
No. Google it. It's right there.
I'm looking at this right now. 2018-19 G League MVP was Isaiah Hartenstein.
2-time NBA champion. NBA...
Oh, wait a minute. That's finals most valuable player. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will be not like Chris and admit when I am wrong.
That's what Knicks fans do. They beat on water and they start thinking about it.
Wrong all the time. I say it on the show when I'm wrong. I wasn't wrong.
Listen. I was wrong. I will take my medicine. And now we've established that the Raptors are clear because Chris Boucher won the same award that Tim Frazier won for the Maine Red Claws in 2015. That's why they're clear. I get it now.
Hey, it's We're at the top of the hour, and we've learned 3 things. 1, Shawn can say he was wrong. 2, I can say that I'm right. 3, we got W Talk. Robyn has joined up here as well. We still have Nightingale, Dany D, CJ, Domo. I want to give a couple of shout-outs down below. TJ Kiesel in the building, and Jasmine is in the building. Jasmine, if you don't know, she is up for big things. You better follow her now. And also, if you look up top, and we got to get your card up here, Shawn, as well. Maliika Walker is having a great conversation here on Spaces with Dime Dropper on Dime's Bank. It is at 8 p.m., right? Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. You're going to sit back and learn about basketball history, and then you'll understand now the next time I say Wilt Chamberlain would dominate in the league today, because he would. 8 o'clock, 7:30 for Live from the Mecca, 8 o'clock for the Rewind Dimes Bank mashup. We're going to go to Robyn real quick because I don't know how long Robyn has for some W talk. Pickup card game is also here. I'm still going to go back to the Draymond Green and reset it with Nightingale after Robyn and I talk some W. Robyn, good morning. Thank you for being able to make it. And what do you have for the All-Star Game snubs, and what are your thoughts halfway through the season?
Good morning. It is way too early for this nonsense. Ezzy Magnabor said,
Hit it, Chris. Hit it. You tried to get me yesterday. Hit it.
And I'm a Sparks fan. I'm a season ticket holder. Been going to the games. I understand that defense is not sexy or whatever, but Brittney Sykes should have been an all-star. Like, that she's playing unreal basketball, and our team is awful, and there's been so much drama, and Liz Cambage is big and can't do shit, and that's very distracting. I get it. But Brittney Sykes has been playing unreal, is like second in the league in steals and or first. She goes back and forth. Yeah, those are my 2 big snubs. And it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I haven't had any coffee, so don't ask me to expound. I'm right. And that's that.
Nah, I love it. I don't think any defensive player ever gets proper recognition in the W unless they happen to be 6'4" taller and block shots. Like it kind of irritates me that they don't really get the same type of defensive stalwart recognition that the NBA counterparts get. It's a great snub pick with Brittney Sykes. Anybody else want to hop up here with some W talk before we go to Nightingale and bring back this wonderful Dray v. Perk?
Yeah, Chris, I just want to echo what 808 said about Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, the fact that there's 12 WNBA teams and all 12 teams but the FIBA have an all-star, that's not a good look. I mean, Kelsey's like, top 5 in scoring. She deserves to be an all-star, so hopefully she'll get in there somehow. But yeah, that's the major snub in my opinion. Taurasi, EDD, I think those are questionable, but for sure Kelsey Mitchell.
Hey, yo, Super got that 2019 Dirk treatment. They ain't like that.
Super doesn't need to be there, and Diane Taurasi does not need to be there. And EDD, I love her. When she's on the court, yes, but her minutes, and like I've talked to 808, we've talked about this, like her minutes don't make any sense. And so as like a voter, there's a pretty good chance if you don't have League Pass and you're not a huge WNBA, like seeing every game, you haven't even seen her play. So like it makes EDD I don't think is a snub, and it makes sense. And we're in this moment, hopefully, where we're changing the guard and like you don't get in based on past resume. There's too many good players and not enough roster slots. So you can't just get in because of your name.
Question. Do you want to see a expanded W All-Star Game format, right? Not just like what the NBA does with these skills competitions, but expanded where you have a larger freshman sophomore, you have in conjunction with US versus the World, in conjunction with another product, so that you make it more of like an inclusive weekend, so you can actually get more eyes on these women. Like I just, it boggles my mind. I like using the word boggle today, apparently.
Yo, can we get the regular rosters extended first? Like, can we get a couple more teams?
Also,
this league can't handle getting regular stuff done.
And to be honest, like these players need the rest for that All-Star. Like one of the problems with All-Star Weekend is like a lot of players that don't make the squads don't come, and that makes it like not as great for fans and people watching. But it's understandable. They need to rest. They're tired. And so, yeah, that'd be great, but not if they all fly. Like, imagine Delta overrun with WNBA players and everybody got COVID, and then the whole rest of the second half of the season is awful. So, like, it'd be nice in a different world, but in the league that we have right now, no, I don't want to see it.
All right, I'm just wondering because I'm kind of with 808s. They can't really handle certain basic things that I think are basic, and I was just wondering maybe an expanded format to get more eyes on would be better. What do you got, 808s?
Yeah, before we get off the W, there's a page and that's in the community. Had an issue with it. Everybody pretty much does, and I just find it funny how, like, out of all the snubs that people thought that were deservedly, all-star, they picked Diana Taurasi as the cover picture. Is she deserving what she snubbed? And it's like, I just find it funny out of all the people picked. You picked her, but
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, this changing of the guard needs to happen, and it needs to happen more than just on the court. It needs to happen in all of the marketing material as well. And I'm with Robyn as well. I don't think Elena Delle Donne is an all-star this year. She just doesn't qualify. Didn't play enough. All right, we're going to be able to come back and forth, guys. So don't worry about it. Domo, go ahead and hop in here with your thoughts on the W. Then we'll move over to Nightingale real quick, and we'll talk some more Golden State Warriors, Draymond and Perk, as apparently they're probably going to go at it, forever.
First and foremost, God bless Pop. And then the number 2 jewel in the Greg Popovich coaching tree, which is Becky Hammond, who might end up being the greatest coach of that tree. And shout out to W for getting it right and giving my beloved Aces, that used to be the San Antonio Silver Stars, then the San Antonio Stars, 4 All-Stars. We deserve
should have had 5.
They have 5? Hold on, let me go.
No, they should have had 5. They left.
Stop
Chelsea
it, bro!
there.
Stop
Don't
it!
get me started. Nah.
Chelsea Gray is
They
a perennial
could put
all-star.
If they could put your lily white, the Vandersloot on there.
Hey, hold on.
On there.
If you really want to go there, Vandersloot should be the starter. The hell?
Baby, I don't want to go there.
He leads the W in clutch points.
Damo's still trying to even get his main point across, and he can't.
I didn't even get knee deep in my propaganda.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and get your propaganda on, brother. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. I was holding on to.
Also, that's that mimosas, man. That's what mimosas do to you.
Haven't had one yet, but I'm thinking about going right up the street and get one.
I just want to say, when we're talking about, so first of all, shout out to them for getting it right. And when we talk about passing the torch, I'm excited for Kelsey Plum to take the torch as the coldest short white woman in the W from Sue Bird. The time has come. That's my point guard. That is all.
At least she'd earn it. Numbers.
Hey, man, this white privilege Domo gets is crazy, man.
I'm telling you, I need to get Dolores in here. We might as well just go completely off the rails and just have a huge argument. That's what I want all of a sudden. Nightingale, we're gonna hop back to you because I know you wanted to come on up. What you got for us? And I need a co-host. Who wants to co-host today?
Not Domo.
I'll speak and then I'll drop down back down.
How about we can do it for a team to make the playoffs?
Jeez, go ahead, Nightingale. Good morning.
Good morning. So, just to comment on the Draymond Perk Steph thing, I wasn't, as a Warriors fan, as a Steph fan, I have no problem saying, like, I am a fan of Stephen Curry. I wasn't super mad because Draymond, this isn't the first time Draymond has,
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Draymond was listening, huh?
Apparently. Anyway, so I watched the clip. I have no interest in watching the whole thing. This is what I think. What he was saying kind of as a whole, I don't even think he was particularly wrong. I personally think Steph is better in a way now than he was even in 2016. I think he's stronger, which I do think has helped his game. I think he's smarter. I think he's more patient. I think he's wiser, right? On top of all his talent and his skill. With that said, Draymond says this, and doesn't give any context as to what was going on in 2016. And all he does is give the stamp of approval for media, for fans, for anyone who use 16 against Steph for his, legacy. Because for crying out loud, when Steph's losing these playoff games or, didn't make the play-in, it's all about his legacy. It's all about what he did not do. A lot of other stars lose and they're still the best player in the league. So there's that. That's frustrating for Warrior fans, right? 2, Draymond. I actually had 2 points and it took so damn long. I think I kind of lost my second point. But, oh, no, I remember. This is what irritates me personally that I have not really heard anywhere else. It's not our fault as Warriors fans. We kind of trolled a little bit, but it was the media. We were down 2-1, and what was posted up all over the media was how much we needed Kevin Durant. So then we go on to win, and, we have our gloating moments, whatever. And all I'm seeing is this coddling of Kevin Durant. Oh, no, Kevin Durant. We still needed you for 17 and 18. You won us those chips. It's annoying, and that actually, irritates me more than anything is this coddling that now is happening, and JJ Redick is a part of it, of Kevin Durant. We can give Kevin Durant all the due he is due. Okay? He was amazing in those finals. He won finals MVP. We can do that without having to put down Steph. So I just kind of wish if Draymond's going to be like this, that he would just keep Steph's name out his mouth. And then lastly, Draymond, for a guy who's all about, the new media is using an old media tactic for clicks and views. That's about it.
Thank you, Nightingale. Could I just say something real quick, Chris? Because I'm about to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin Durant fans, all you guys out there, or you Brooklyn Nets fans, if you come at me, you're going to feel the pain. Also, Kevin Durant said on his podcast, on his platform, with his buddy sitting in his house in his pajamas and his slippers, I didn't want neither one of you teams to win that championship. Why? Want to know why? The same reason I don't show him love. He's the ops. He don't want the Warriors to win.
See, I actually thought that was
no
funny.
problem celebrating the championships he won you though.
Got
no problem running around with those.
It's just like the God.
Championships. You're running around with garbage cans on your head.
Hello. It's just like the Godfather. When you're in the family, you in the family. Once you leave, you the ops. I don't gotta cheer for you. I don't gotta wish you well. I don't gotta wish you a happy birthday or a Merry Christmas or a happy Kwanzaa. No, you out of here. If you come back in the family, then I'll give you a big hug.
They still cheer LeBron in Cleveland and in Miami.
Oh, what? And look where Cleveland at now. And look where Cleveland is at now.
Wow. Making the playoffs, having a fully rebuilt team.
Spoiledness.
And Cleveland drafted LeBron. What are you talking about?
He's spoiled.
Yes, spoiled. They won 4 championships.
You guys, Kevin Durant fans, just need to be
hugged. Would kill for one.
He said I still got.
He
said I still got 4. He said I.
This is why they made the mute button. It's an awesome button to have. You can press it, and the funniest thing that happens is you don't hear anybody except for the host and the co-host. What's up, Shawn? How you doing?
I will say this. I'm a big fan of Draymond Green. I think I defend him to my friends all the time because people are like, oh, he's a bum, he's this and third, and a lot of their success is owed to what he's able to do on defensive end. However, Draymond Green should worship the ground Steph Curry walks on every single day and twice on Sunday. Because guess what? If that was Monte Ellis, this dude wouldn't have jack. Podcast, you wouldn't have no rings, you wouldn't have no Subway commercials. I agree with KP. Do not go against the family. And we were talking about this in the locker room last night. The problem is his family may not be the Warriors. His family might be Clutch. And therein lies the rub.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that was the other point I was gonna get to.
Stay low and keep firing. That's what I'm gonna do
Yo,
with
who was clutch to
all
y'all?
you
The
Nets
big
fans.
bad boogeyman?
Because here's the thing: none of
Christ.
Steph's, not Steph, none of LeBron's cronies, BFFs, besties would ever say this kind of thing. Not even
Never.
close.
Never.
None of Kevin
Y'all
Durant's.
see what happened?
Close.
Y'all
But that
see what
whole
happened to Matt?
organization and the Warriors, they love Steph, but it's weird, and it's been weird for years.
Y'all see what happened to Mario? Y'all see what happened to Mario Chalmers when he told LeBron to step up? He out of here. Come on, man, stop this madness.
Not Rio. Not Rio.
Hey, yo, so you saying they don't respect Steph Curry? I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Hoop Spaces on your hump day. You could be any, but you're here, and we appreciate it. Just like I appreciate people who advertise their own stuff on my tweets. Like, at least give me a cut. You know, have the common decency to ask. Like, that's just rude.
Dude, did you see my tweet from like 3 days ago?
What?
I had so many advertisers in my replies.
Right? Like, yo, and the sad part is it's a dude who runs Spaces and like doesn't like never mind. It's just inconsiderate. CJ, Danny, hop in here with this Draymond talk. Then we're gonna go up to Maliika Walker so she can get her rebuttal because, you know, as a Nets fan, I'm sure she's gonna stick up a little bit for KD. And then we got some more talk to get to, especially with this Jalen Brunson situation, because I said it before, and I don't think people who don't follow the Mavs understand this. The Mavs did this to themselves. Like, this has been 4 years in the making that they have screwed themselves with Jalen Brunson. So we're going to get there. And, you know, Shawn's going to be happy because Shawn is right about one thing. Market deal, premier point guard of the free agent market. The Knicks are in the right here. And I think a lot of people just don't want to accept that. We'll go to Dany D, then CJ, and then we'll pop up.
We're all pulling for you guys, Shawn. We're all pulling for you.
Wait, Chris,
Thank
we don't
you.
want to accept what? The fact that the Knicks may get Jalen Brunson still not win 50 games? Like, come on, man.
It's almost as if the Knicks won't be allowed to make any more moves after this. Like, is next season the last season of the NBA? You got to crawl before you walk. Good players available. So because he doesn't win his 50 games, we shouldn't sign him.
Listen, all I know is
it
makes
makes no sense.
But
Well,
y'all
who
are
knows?
really
James
expecting this dude
Dolan
to
might not want to cut into.
I'm still waiting for Dany D over here. You know?
Excuse
I'm sorry,
me.
Danny. Go ahead.
Reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time.
That's right. Come for your clavicles. You know what I'm saying? Come for your clavicles up in here. Good morning, y'all. This is all I got to say. You know, Draymond is the little brother that's always looking for attention. That's all it is. He likes to bump his gums. You listen to him, and you feel like, this Negro's crazy. Sit your butt back in that corner. That's all it is. I look at, he's trying to steer an avenue for himself. I don't think he puts as much thought in him what he's going to say before he really thinks about it. I understand his point, and some of it is true. You know, people can put up clips of Steph going to the basket and all that kind of stuff, but there are times where Steph would regress and wouldn't go for the jugular. We saw that in these playoffs. We saw it last year, a little the maturation of his growth. So he's right there. He's also wrong in the other aspect that Steph was getting double teamed. And this is where Durant is wrong. Steph does get double team more than anybody. He benefited from that double team. That's where he lacks his understanding. That gravity we talked about a few weeks ago. That brings a lot of gifts to everybody else on their end. And I mean, you can sit there.
Man, that Draymond karma is every.
But
Danny, you're in the Matrix.
I know. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah. No, what did Dray say? Did he tell you to stop talking about him?
My timer went off. That's what it was. Sorry about that. But
What you baking over there?
Nothing. I know I'm working still. So as I'm talking to you, I'm working. I'm supposed to keep me.
She's cooking up these takes for y'all. That's
You
what's
know
happening.
what? You know what? Thank you. Point for you, sir. Thank you. You know, I'm just sitting there like, calm down, y'all. Relax, relate, release. At the end of the day, like we had to deal with Rashid in Detroit, like the teams had to deal with Rodman. It's always going to be one little redheaded stepchild at the end of the day that will make you upset. But that's what makes that team so beautiful. And as Klay Thompson says, Dray acts like a 3-year-old or a third grader. So that's all it is. That's all it is. Calm down. Don't make a big deal about it at the end of the day. And Chelsea Gray and Alicia Gray, Gray sisters, not related. They both should have been in the All-Star game. And I'm glad that UConn big nose, polka dot face, Donna Taurasi ain't in no damn All-Star game. She need to sit her butt home with her Hall of Fame wife, Penny Taylor, and play with her son. That's what she need to do. And I know y'all want that Della Dawn to be up there. Homegirl ain't played that many games. It's either this or that. You know, engine number 9. And she don't come down that New York Transit line. She be off the track. So that's all I got for y'all with that. And at the end of the day, you know what? Golden State Warriors are still champs. That's all I got to say. With the Finals MVP, the All-Star MVP, Steph Curry, the chef, the babyface assassin. Holla. I'm still here.
Can't say none of that shit about them damn Aces.
You know what? You need to remember you got a game today, sir. Don't forget.
I got a game in 30 minutes.
I know you're not laughing, Chris. That better be.
Your gums over there 808. You need to be stretching, getting ready for that game because you know you're gonna be laid
I'm
out
dead.
on the floor.
Danny's gonna get in the car, take a day off
You know,
early
I'm
just to
off
watch
Thursday. When this game happening, I might need to ride up to
Look
Dallas
at that.
and come
Chris,
watch
you
Listen,
coming
baby,
in.
ain't nobody afraid of Domo,
You know
okay?
what? You know what I'm talking about. You ain't played in a while, so that
All he
shot
did
gonna
was
be
say he was
short.
gonna foul
That
me.
shot gonna be short. It might not even touch the basket. You might be shooting bricks like West, like somebody named Westbrook.
He
I'm
ain't
about to
done nothing but talk
disrespect your
about fouling
name,
me, y'all.
boy.
You see, that's why you work inside,
Hey,
outside. Get your shot wet first.
He didn't say he
sit
was
in
gonna give
your
me a
corner with
bucket.
your YMC butt. Okay, stay in the corner. Okay.
He said he was gonna make some good passes. He didn't say he was gonna rebound. That man said he was gonna foul me. That's all that man 808 said.
Listen,
I'm
That's all.
calling a
That's not
triple
what I said.
double. I'm calling a triple double for this game. I'm saying 3 pulled hamstrings and 2 torn meniscuses. This is what happened.
Listen, I'm gonna have a cool
808
7-7 and
said,
7.
man.
I
You're
hope
gonna
But
have
your
him,
medical
what?
I go
insurance
to
is
the every
good.
man. I'm gonna be
I really want this on. I want this on video.
I need it.
We playing 32. We playing 21.
808. You know good and well you can't get up and down that court
You
of
ain't gonna
21.
make it 21. You might not make it past 6.
We might
Come
need to
on
play
now.
7.
All right.
I do not appreciate this slander. I don't.
Hold on, real quick, Danny. Can I employ you to climb up Chris's tree really quick? Because he's been talking about my liberty. Maliika, you get him too. That apology letter, Chris, better be in perfect script. That penmanship better be beautiful.
Well, I sure do hope you write one in perfect.
You better.
I'm not.
Chris is a pot
I'm the
stirrer.
reason why the Liberty are winning.
Chris is a pot stirrer. Chris is a pot
You are not the
stirrer.
reason the Liberty are winning.
Oh,
Stop.
that is such a lie. I gave them such a karmic boost.
A karmic boost?
I was on vacation. I just got back yesterday.
Why don't you give that karmic boost give that karmic boost to the Sixers if you got that much power?
Daryl Morey and I do not see eye to eye, so it's just not gonna happen.
I wonder why.
Is that because you don't want to trade Ben Simmons?
Well, no, it wasn't that I didn't mind trading Ben Simmons. Is I wanted to wait until the offseason when we could actually get something other than a 33-year-old player who's only going to play 2 more years in his prime. Hey, it ain't hard. CJ the unathletic.
Sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. Man, that Liberty apology better be verbose.
Hey, yo, trying to see James Harden get to the rim at 35, 36 is
Look, the Liberty did not go on there 7-3 out of the last 10 until I started saying they were seafoam green and they were horrible.
I bet the Liberty to win the WNBA championship at 40-1. I think you should too, Chris.
Money.
Definitely not, because they're not going to win it. CJ the Unathletic, third time's the charm. You ready?
Chris doesn't understand its value.
Don't forget,
I'm ready.
Got to go
Sean, I'm really glad we could bond over like.
I don't think it has to go. CJ's been waiting longer.
Yeah. So this is my whole thing. I can't speak to the Draymond Perk thing because I didn't listen to Perk's spaces. I was in another space and we were discussing the whole Draymond thing when he did his collab podcast with JJ. And for me personally, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very difficult day to be a Warriors fan on Twitter. Because for me, what I thought was incredibly annoying was, granted, people can feel the way they feel about what he said about Steph. That's fine. That's its own separate thing. But to what he said about the Warriors needing KD to win the 2017 and 18 titles against the Cavs, I need Warriors fans to understand this. I understand y'all are upset that KD, after he left, all of the reports that came out, all of the things that happened internally with the Warriors as far as during practices and KD being upset about how certain things were going down and all that good stuff. But let's not sit here and act like Kevin Durant was not crucial, essential, or whatever adjective you want to use to describe it.
Shall set you free.
Like, and again, I understand that everybody wants to bring up, well, Draymond said in the Clipper game in 2019 that we didn't need KD and we won without him. Both things can be true, people. Like, they did win in 2015 without him, but they also won with him in 2017 and 2018, and he was crucial as hell. Like, he was fundamentally crucial because you know what KD was? KD was the ultimate, you can't do shit about this man because he's going to get a bucket. He was the ultimate luxury item. He was the Warriors' Rolex. That's what he was. They didn't even need it because they had Steph, but they needed KD in order to win. Like, he was crucial. Harrison Barnes wasn't getting it done. Other guys who may have potentially been available, we don't know because they weren't there. So we had Kevin Durant. So, like, that's what has pissed me off because Warrior fans then all of a sudden want to be like, oh, well, Draymond is part of Clutch and now this crap about, well, he gives LeBron too much love and all this other stuff. Bro, Draymond Green has always said he's going to give players their props no matter what. That was even prior to him going to Clutch. Like, Draymond respects talent, period. It don't matter if you're on the Warriors or if you're on another team. He gives guys their respect. So to all you Warrior fans who want to keep talking about, oh, Draymond different since he joined Clutch, man, miss me with all that. Because if you paid attention, since Draymond's been in the league, he gives guys their credit, period, point blank. You want to complain about what he said about Steph? That's fine. Do that because he's part of the team. But do not sit here and complain about Draymond giving Kevin Durant his respect. Like, bro, he disrespected KD in that Clipper game by calling him out of his name and then going beyond just the specific Clipper game, talking about his free agency. Like, bro, we got to stop that, bro. Warrior fans get on my nerves with that kind of crap because it's like, bro, y'all can't sit here and have it both ways. You can't talk about the fact that you was happy when KD was there and we were winning, and then when he left, complain about what happened when he left, and then turn around and win the chip, and then shit on him. And then not only that, the funny thing is that when there was a possibility of Kevin Durant, quote-unquote, returning, people wanted to sit there and be like, oh, we don't need KD. We won without him. But I guarantee you there was also a faction of Warrior fans who sat there and said, yo, let's bring him back. Let's trade away Wiggins. Let's trade away all our young guys and go get KD again.
Man, that's
it wasn't me.
Can I say something here instead of the Warriors whining about Kevin Durant all the time? The weirdness of Warrior fans with KD is very strange. I mean, you guys won 2 championships with him. It's like you detest that he was on the team when you won the championship. He was there. You can't take him out.
You don't hear Toronto fans, right, Maliika? You don't hear Toronto fans talking about Kawhi.
let me finish, Cash. So
Sorry.
yeah, like Kawhi is respected by
Thank-
Raptors fans. It's very strange. It's like y'all don't want him. Y'all didn't want him on the team, but he was there, and you can't take away his impact and what he did. But Steph was always great. Steph was always going to be great. KD is great. You know, they both great. You know what I mean? I mean, you have another sharpshooter there who's great. The Warriors were a great team. The Warriors organization is great. They know how to put together teams that will win championships. You know, everybody contributed. Everybody did their thing. I don't understand. I don't get into it anymore, Warriors fans, because it's just strange. It's like
Well,
it's addiction. It's weird. But what I
well,
wanted to
no,
say is
that
Alicia,
look.
let me finish. I'm talking.
I'm sorry,
Alicia
Maliika.
Gray should have been an all-star. I agree with everything Robyn said. Robyn was surely on point with everything she said, especially about Brittney Sykes. I mean, I watched Brittney Sykes play, and I'm like, yo, she doesn't get the respect she deserves at all. But I want to also say Alicia Gray, the Olympic gold medalist, Alicia Gray, should have been like the way she plays and how hard she plays. I knew Enrique was going to get it, but Alicia should have been there. And Alicia's a bucket, and she should have been on that All Star squad. And they need to stop disrespecting her. Period.
Yeah.
So that's my time. But the Warriors disrespect. At this point, it's expected, and it is what it is. Like Steph is still great. I don't see why disrespecting KD is important to raise up Steph. You don't have to do that. Steph is great. He's going in first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to continue to be great and continue to do great things. There's nothing wrong with respecting both players. It really isn't.
Do you
It's
know?
not that
Exactly,
hard.
and this is my whole thing. That's
Why isn't it if a Warrior fan don't cheer for KD? He's a hater.
Oh my
Why
god.
we gotta
no.
cheer for
No,
him?
KP,
KD,
No,
KP,
hold
Hey,
up.
Chris,
I'm
I
move
talking.
grew
down,
up
No,
man.
with
no, no.
KD. It's weird.
I'm
I
KP.
mean,
talking
Hold on, hold
now.
on,
KD is my favorite player. Is my favorite player,
That's
whether you hate
fine.
him or not. I don't care. I
hold on,
said
All
it's
right.
KP.
weird.
So
Hold
It's
on,
if
weird.
KP. Can I?
Y'all hate him. It's very strange.
Hold on.
nobody
Y'all
hates
don't even
him,
want. Y'all never wanted him on the team.
what
Okay,
what are
like
what are
whether
y'all
he was
talking
there,
about?
y'all can't do
What are y'all?
nothing about it.
They was recruiting KD in 2015. What are
No,
y'all talking about?
issue
KP, hold on. Let me.
is
Can I
that
please? Hold on. Let me.
No, I'm
Hey,
not
why you
finished
getting angry,
talking.
KP? Relax. This is
No, because
basketball.
no, I'm not. It's not me angry. I don't get angry over basketball.
he's
I
getting
just get passionate because y'all keep throwing out these narratives like Warriors fans are hating. KD do slick shit on the
It's
side.
literally hate, KP. We not finna sit up here and just bald face
808,
lie. It is
808, go
hate,
back.
brother,
like
808,
and it's
go
okay
back.
Hey,
to acknowledge that.
808. Let
the
me.
biggest problem that I think that what KP is trying to say is there's a section of Warriors fans, okay, that say weird and goofy things, and the totality of Warriors Twitter gets blamed, right? And so like people are lumping KP, who is a passionate Warriors fan, for being anti KD. He's got every right to be anti
You got
KD.
your Warriors cape on today, Chris? I
No,
see you changed from the Raptors one.
I
wait.
it
mean,
Can I?
seriously.
has zero to do with the Warriors. Like, listen to the words that I am saying. There is a small group of Warrior fans that say stupid shit that all Warriors fans get blamed for. Like, let them say it, but don't blame all the Warriors fans for it.
Chris,
It
can
ain't
I
Yeah,
as
they
small
please?
as
blame
you
the
think it
Nets
is, Chris. I
fans
can
when
promise
somebody
you
says
that, brother.
something
But it's
stupid.
Chris,
it's
can
I
I
mean,
cool.
it's the
please?
same thing.
Can I
What's
please
the
add in
difference?
though? Can I? Because this is my thing. Because Chris is 100% right. I pride myself on trying to be as objective as possible, and a lot of Warrior fans hate me for it. But the fact of the matter is that to Chris's point, you have a lot of weird and no disrespect to some of the Warrior fans, but some idiotic and stupid Warrior fans who will sit there. And granted, if you want to shit on KD for the simple fact he left, fine, that is your right. But what you will not do is sit here and act as if the Warriors did not win that 2017 and 2018 championship without Kevin Durant. Like, it was not like Kevin Durant didn't matter. He did. He was the biggest overarching factor. He was the guy that made it possible for LeBron James not to have 6 rings right now. Like, he's the reason why we were able to dominate the league like we did for 2 years straight. And then a third year where we could have won a third chip and three-peated, injuries derailed it. Like, we can't sit here as Warrior fans and be like, yo, I hate the fact that KD left, and then talk about the fact that we have won 6 championships in 8 years, and Kevin Durant was part of 2 of them. Like, we wouldn't have had those opportunities without him.
We wanna bring in some more voices and make sure CJ don't lose his voice yelling at everybody. Cash, you're up. Domo after Cash. We also got TJ up here and Reese Rebel 31. We are talking loosely, bouncing from topic to topic. Currently, we're on the Golden State Warriors because of Draymond Green and Kendrick Perkins. If you haven't seen it, Kendrick Perkins was called a coon by Draymond Green. He addressed it Perkins addressed it where he alluded to Draymond not being about that life. If you're wondering what that has to deal with, it is dealing with the physical altercation that happened at a private dinner between Tristan Thompson and Draymond Green. It's going to get ugly if they continue to do it, but part of me also believes that this is all manufactured, and I wouldn't put it,
clutch on clutch violence. It's fantastic.
Up next, you're going to hear the voice of Kashpiracies Flopaganda. You can catch him here on Twitter Spaces with the likes of Saint from Nets Kingdom, the likes of Jay from BK, Brandon, hosting a whole bunch of Nets content. You can also catch him with Brooklyn Netcast and Leb on YouTube. Kashpiracies, go ahead. Then after you, Domo, and then we got Nat and TJ after that.
The question I wanted to ask was to Maliika is, who would you replace in the All-Star game for who you felt was snubbed?
Who would I?
Because the person has to come in and come out, right? And there's only so many spots. And I think Chris was right when we talked about we should 100% expand in the game. There should be more selections. I mean, but in a way, right too. And he said that there should be. The roster should be bigger than themselves. But who goes in and who goes out in your opinion? That was just my first question.
That's a good question. I have to look at the full roster again, but I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
Because I believe strongly that Alicia Gray should be there. But let me look at the roster and let me get back to you on that.
And then my last thing is, I don't have any problems with. First off, whatever happened between Kendrick Perkins and Draymond Green, the one thing it's not doing is hurting their money. Because every time two guys with a podcast or 2 talking head guys, whether they're ex-players or not, mix it up like this, like we're all talking about it in Spaces. They're all talking about it on ESPN. Like they're all like, there's a million sub podcasts about it. Like they're creating news on a slow news day. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I call the Stephen A. Smithification of sports media. Okay, there are people like myself, like others, who are just tired of it, who actually want to have like constructive basketball conversations and talk about roster building, crack a few jokes, and like enjoy sports, like enjoy basketball. And for some reason, there is this entity of media that takes it to this place that it just simply does not need to go. It happens with ex-players. It happens with talking heads. And this is just like something that I think we could all collectively understand is like we're better than as basketball fans. And I think that there is clear market correction. The new media, but that's the thing is, what was said earlier is Draymond is not above the flopaganda himself. Like you can't point the finger and then have 3 more fingers pointing back at you. It's to me, you got to understand where you lie in the food chain that is this basketball entertainment world. And I'm with Shawn. I agree that very much so that players, for the most part, will know more about this game than I will ever learn or most of us will ever know. But they do have their preferences. They do have their absolute agendas. Everybody does. the reality is that we don't, as fans, if you can be objective about the game and you just understand the actual motion of the game, that is something that some players never develop in their own game. That is something that a wisdom and a vision of the game that even they themselves can't be taught. There is like a feel of the game, and also the biggest thing that we underrate is because I think of the history of playing video games, of watching TV, and of just having these objective talking head viewpoints spit down our throat. We don't understand that the biggest aspect of this game is between these players' ears. It's your brain, it's your it's your emotions. It's who can slow their heart rate down to hit jump shots consistently. It's who knows the right place to be at the right time and doesn't get overwhelmed when Draymond Green whispers in their ear that they're a bitch or whatever. Or like that's what we're talking about here. And I think that is one of the fundamentally most underrated parts of the game, and we don't talk about it enough, is poise. And I would much rather hear constructive basketball discussion about what does it mean to grow and get better as a basketball player than to hear two guys fight over attention or clout or who's tougher, or like it's like all of that stuff happens at the top and spills down into like these spaces. Like, you are the example you set. Yeah. And the example that was set was like, is just, it's like foolishness. Like, these are two respected guys in the game that are going to be calling the game for us for a generation.
I think the biggest issue is that the philosophy is far outweighed by the ease of negative emotional attachment.
And Reason doesn't sell tickets. Like, nobody goes to see the Reasonable Circus. Like, you go to see the Three Rings. Like, you buy tickets to see the shit show. Like,
I don't know. Like, the Reasonable Circus sounds like a great time to take a kid.
The Reasonable Circus.
A wise man once told me that the 24-hour news cycle demands fake news.
Demands it.
So, it's not just sports. It's anything. Like, once you need to fill up hours with programming, fake news will abound. Period. End of story.
Kashpiracies and Flopaganda.
The Foxification is really it's not the Stephen A. It's the Foxification.
Oh, I just call it that because of how it relates back to sports, but it all comes from Warren Buffett and Fox News.
Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch. Excuse me. My bad.
You need to write an apology letter and mail it out.
Yeah, Warren Buffett deserves that.
I know. Domo, pop in here. Then we got a couple new people to hear voices from, being TJ and Nat. I want to give some shout outs down below and thank all of you for coming through. If you haven't yet, could you do us the favor? There's a tweet at the very top in the beginning. I'll put it up here again. Like and retweet that. It's the show card. If you come into spaces and you see a host or a co-host, literally it's the only credit that they get. Right? Like, Twitter's tracking the data. They know how many people come through the rooms, and that's all fine and good. But as Spaces expands and grows and changes and evolves and all those catchwords that they'll probably start using in the next 90 days, the real currency is not the amount of people walking into the space. The real currency is the amount of people who are engaging the space actively. So like, they've created some tools to help this, right? The chat box in the bottom right. If you don't want to talk, but you have an idea, or you want to just get your voice heard, throw it down in there, because we've got some people coming up and down replying. There's also a snip feature. Not everybody has it. If you have it, feel free to cut out your own take. Don't use anybody else's, because that's an issue. Use your own. Cut it out and put it in a tweet and say, hey, come check us out and hear us talk on Hoop Spaces. And all of that we will greatly appreciate. Shout outs to some people down below who are content creators in their own right. One who's phenomenal. You got to listen to him. That's Jeff J. That's Jeff J Says is the handle. Check him out on Bleacher Report, BetX on MSG Networks if you are a gambler like Shawn. And if you're into pop culture, The dude is an instant follow. You should follow him now. Power After Hours is probably the best power recap space or show that you will get. So if you're into that, make sure you follow him. Zach Ramey, everybody's down below, the Off the Glass podcast. And we were just talking about philosophy and development and all this stuff. That's what he talks about. Like, he's not up here to give the sensationalism. He's up here to talk ball and nothing but ball. So make sure you check out the Off the Glass podcast. Papi Chulo, Rolo, and Jazz are all in the building. I want to give them a shout out. 77 spaces for your Mavs content. Papi Chulo wanted to pop up here, but he had to probably go to work. All right, off to the races to Domo, who's going to get in some more talk and a quick parting shot at 808 from this one-on-one game that they're going to have recorded for us. And then we'll hit up TJ and then Nat, and we'll reset the room with Maliika and CJ. Good morning, everybody.
Chris, can you and I just talk back and forth for a second?
Sure. What's up, man?
I want to tell you something. I always bless people and tell you things I love. I want to tell you a few of the things I hate.
Oh, okay.
KP, I'm not coming for your job. Promise you. Quick second, just want to say a few things that I hate. Number one, I hate American citizens and their voting patterns. They always complain about how much money we spend in politics and on people like me. Refuse to read policy, watch C-SPAN or legislation. And if y'all actually paid attention to politics, you wouldn't need people like me to give you information. Two thing I hate. That's number one thing I hate. The number two thing I hate is Caucasians cooking fried chicken. It just makes me mad. Only black people and various Asian groups need to make fried chicken, unless it's Chick-fil-A, because they put a little Jesus in their chicken. A lot of homophobia too.
Oh no, that's white people fried chicken. Come on, what is this?
I said
why can't we all just get along?
I said unless. I said unless. You got to pay attention now. The third thing I hate. The third thing I hate is NBA fans who are player fans because they only care about legacy. Katie, a couple months ago, tweeted something, and it was to the extent parlays and legacy conversations is ruining the real basketball. I listened to what Draymond Green said. Okay, Draymond Green gave a pretty good basketball analysis. We can disagree with him if we want to, but he gave a pretty basketball analysis about how Steph Curry's game has changed from 2016 to today. And Steph Curry fans, not Warriors fans, Steph Curry fans went crazy because, and I heard someone in this space admit it, because it's going to be used against Steph Curry's legacy. Steph Curry is a made man. He's probably the best point guard of all time, maybe the number 2 point guard of all time. I would argue best. He's a multiple-time MVP. He has his finals MVP. His legacy is set in stone. Draymond Green, who contributed to that legacy, is allowed to give an analytical take talking about how he improved, how his game changed. But people who only care about legacy, don't care about real ball, don't care about real hoops, didn't grow up in these towns, and they live in Western Illinois, but they're Warrior fans because they like the way Steph shoots the ball, only care about the of particular players and don't care about the game. That is the third thing I hate the most. The fourth thing I hate is the fact that 808 is going to foul the crap out of me Thursday. That's all.
Wait, hold on. All I did was say, yo, ain't nothing easy over here because you're not getting no easy buckets. Does that mean I was going to foul you? Like, that just means it's two dudes that's about 250 plus.
808, what did I say back to you?
You said what?
808, tell me exactly what you said.
Okay, look. I said, yo, how tall are you? He said 6.
Before he says it, I don't want to lie.
No, I'm reading up this actual iMessage. I said, how tall are you? You said 6'2". I said, you not scoring in the paint. You said, boys, stop. I said, nothing easy over here. And you said, all that means is you foul well.
Real well.
That's not what that means.
No fouling. That's all that means.
Well, you know, we are going to actually ask the audience. I'm getting the poll up here right now. Does this mean fouling?
It doesn't. It just means I watched a lot of Tony Allen highlights growing up.
If someone says nothing easy in a pickup game, all that tells me is that I'm leaving with a scar.
No, it means you leaving shooting like James Harden.
All
Like
right.
you will get
You're
your
gonna leave
buckets,
with
but
them
you're not
buckets.
gonna
I'm
just.
gonna
It's
leave
not. It's
with
no
the bucket, and
cakewalk. Is
that's
what I'm
fine.
saying, man.
All right. Up next, who did I say was after Domo? CJ.
Nat.
Okay. TJ. Yeah. What's up, TJ?
No, Nat. I'll let Nat go because she was here first.
All
Wait,
right.
Nat, the Celtics fan.
Good morning, Nat.
Like,
No, 808's talking again. Jesus Christ.
And you a Saints fan. You just like
Oh
pain.
my
You just like
God.
pain.
Jesus Christ. You just, please stop. Please. I'm begging you. Oh my goodness. This man is so hurt. This summer has not been good to 808s. All right.
Yeah, because Lonzo Ball's still on my team.
Oh.
I know you're depressed. I know. Hugs. Listen. I love seeing Warriors Twitter implode because Draymond, 1 minute his word is golden to y'all, then the next minute, well, he tripping, when he speaks because he was telling the fucking truth that other people tried to tell y'all. It's like y'all are afraid to say someone got better. Like, oh my God, Steph Curry got better. And Steph Curry back then, when you talk about 5 and 6 years ago to now, there's two different players. This guy is so much better today. He wasn't the same back then. And it's okay to say that. But you know who was like that? Kevin Durant. And Draymond finally gave him his flowers and, was respectful about it. Like, hey, we did need him. And he knew it. That's why it was a plan, because he made you special. He said, you know what? We need somebody to go at Braun and that is not going to get stopped by him and can potentially outplay him. But they said, you know what, Kevin Durant, and that, you know what, you got 2 chips out of it. How can you go on after that to say anything about that man? It is weird, and I always think y'all are weird for doing it. The first ring y'all got, if I love context, I love context. Let's be honest about that ring, right? Who the hell were you playing against? You had Braun, Dellavedova, Kyrie was out after 1 game, and then Timothy Mozgov. You had Tristan Thompson. Okay, like that's who Cleveland had, and you won. So then when you poke out your chest and say, well, we won without him, it's like, yeah, but let's be honest. It's like if that team was fully healthy, we don't know what the hell would have happened. We for all we know, you would have went out in 6. So my thing is just humble yourselves, because when Kevin Durant got there, and first of all, when the teams were healthy the next year, you fucking lost. You lost. When it was healthy to healthy with Cleveland and y'all, you lost. And then the next season you get KD and you win the next 2. So he made you special. He really made you special, and he gave you that extra oomph. Why disrespect that man? Y'all been shitting on his legacy for years, and I never understood it. And yes, this is a Boston Celtics fan speaking on behalf of Kevin Durant, because I never understood it. I think Steph Curry is fantastic. But to say that he was back then the same guy he is today, you're lying to yourself. I don't care about your fandom. The Warriors fan could raise their hands, and all that stuff like that. I really don't care. The truth is the truth, and at the end of the day, give that man his respect. And that's what y'all don't like, because it's coming back to bite you in the ass that, damn, maybe he was the better player back then, because then it goes against the propaganda that y'all been pushing for 4 to 5 seasons.
Man, see, like I agree with what Draymond is saying in terms of his analysis to a point, and that's the problem. Is that there's a subjective line, and he crossed it, and that's the issue. He crossed it by doing the 180, and once you cross that line, it's hard to gain back that credibility for some people. And what I think is happening is the people who won't let him walk back just tend to be the most vociferous. Go ahead, 808.
I just find it funny, man. Like, forget these conversations. Forget that Draymond's even talking. This organization, these players just won a championship, an NBA championship, after a grueling 82-game season, however many games, 15-plus games they played in the playoffs. And we talking about Kevin Durant. Like, just think about that. You won a chip. Dude, hasn't been on the team in how many years? if he doesn't get injured in 2019, they arguably probably win that.
Well, like, I'm telling you, this is partly an inside job. Like, there's no way nobody's going to be able to tell me anything different. They are doing this in league with each other through probably an intermediary or a basic understanding.
Make money.
And like, it's one of the funniest things. I talked to my son about this. I tell him to approach all of his challenges in life like a seesaw and understand that it takes both sides to actually operate and get to where you want to be, right? Like, you, as a creator, you can go out there and create stuff on your own, but like, you're not going to get the same type of pull. You're not going to get the same type of thorough coverage or different type of voices that are going to attract people. And so, like, probably it was like, man, JJ's got something really good with this old man in a 3. Let me hop up here. And then when they talk about the rundown, they're like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna give you some heat. And the heat's gonna be this. And so, like, even JJ probably doesn't know exactly what's going to be said, but he has an idea of what's going to be said so that he can continue the conversation and carry it along. And then what happened was, like, that section of Warriors fan didn't like it. And we're hearing it. TJ, your thoughts as a Warriors fan on this? We got CJ, Maliika, and then BadGuy's joined us. And then after this, we're moving on because the Lakers are stuck. The Knicks are not stuck. And Detroit is having one hell of an offseason so far. TJ, good morning.
Morning, Chris. Morning, everybody. I'm going to agree with what CJ was talking about earlier. That's when I came up. There is a small faction. I think somebody said who the person was. I'm not going to repeat it, but there's a small faction of people in that group that make the rest of the Warriors fan base seem like they're not intelligent. And when it comes to the Draymond stuff about not needing KD and then flipping and saying now he was an integral part. Did he say anywhere in that? Because I didn't see the interview. Did he say that he was wrong? Because if he didn't say that I feel like a lot of this stuff is just a bunch of hot air that he's trying to get his media platform off and stuff. So
I didn't hear any admission of wrongness.
Like, I feel like we barely 2 weeks after the season, and we're talking about why KD was important to winning the 2 championships. It's obvious, yes, he was, but they're taking away the stuff that the Warriors did without him. Is something that disturbs me personally as a Warriors fan. I think both can be good. We had a good run with him without KD, and we had a good run with him. And I think this last championship is what's making a lot of this talk happen, is because Steph Curry basically said, hey, like, I'm leading this team to victory, coming back from 2-1 down to win a championship. So, like, I see where a lot of this commotion is coming from. But for me personally, it's a lot of just hot air. I'm just ready to talk about them Lakers too, man, because we talking about the Warriors. We won a championship. The Lakers over here struggling. And now you got to worry about Westbrook getting 40-something million.
Yeah, I'm a give the salaries in the opening of the Lakers talk.
Hey, Chris,
do you have to?
Yeah, I do.
Can I spot the TJ real quick?
Yeah, and then I wanted Robyn to be able to speak because she actually came up here to answer a question, and then we'll go to Maliika.
As far as like the whole championship thing, and both sides, I really wanted to agree. Like, I get where you're coming from, but there's an unhealthy majority of people out here trying to use this championship to discredit KD. That's the issue that I have. Like, yes, we can acknowledge the fact that they won one, had a 7-3-9 record before everybody came, but like using that to discredit him, act like 2018, 2019 didn't happen, is crazy to me.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand what you're saying, but what happens is because that group of people is saying that, a lot of people just assume the whole fan base is like that. And that's the part that is like, I'm a Warriors fan, right? And so people are like, well, when were you a Warriors fan? Were you a Warriors fan before Steph? Were you a Warriors fan before KD? It's like, no, I've been a Warriors fan for a while. I like watching the game. I like my players. I like going to see them play. And that's the part that really being online, a lot of people just assume that everybody feels the same way about that. So that's all.
Hey, TJ, you are an Oakland resident, correct?
I don't reside there, but I'm from Oakland.
I rest my case.
Monte Ellis was dope. Just throwing that out there.
Oh yeah, he was definitely.
Robyn, you had an answer to a question earlier. You free?
Yeah, and then I just wanted. So I'm answering the WNBA All-Star question.
And I am too. I'm right behind you.
Yeah, it's difficult, like who you're gonna leave out, right? Because I do think there are snubs, and I just want to be real, like, because there's nuance and everything. I do believe that there are snubs, and I do believe that there are people who deserve it more. But that doesn't mean I don't think that there's anyone who I'm like, oh, there's one person. Sue Bird should not be there. Whatever. I don't care. She could be a coach. She could just be an honored guest. She don't need to be on the floor. So Sue Bird could go.
Make a legacy. Make a legacy spot. Make a legacy.
Right? Like
spot.
let her. I don't know. Whatever. Sue Bird could go. And then I think Kalia Copper and Ariel Atkins. And again, if you look at their numbers, like they're not that far behind a Kelsey Mitchell or an Alicia Gray. Or they're comparable, I guess. And so it just depends on like your emotional ties to them. But I was just gonna like to just be full on cutthroat and callous about it. I would get rid of Kalia Copper and Ariel Atkins, and then put Alicia Gray and Kelsey Mitchell in their spots. Though now that I said it out loud, Sue Bird can go, and Ariel Atkins can stay. Yeah. Yep. Final answer.
You're gonna get blowback on the Sue Bird because your voice is
no,
like,
I just thought
no one's
like
blowing back on
my position on Sue Bird is well known, well documented, and it just after a while it feels like hating for haters' sake, which I'm okay with. I am a grade A hater,
which I am not above.
I'm not like, you can say what you will. I make hate look like an art form, but.
Oh, have you met our
I don't
executive
know.
hater?
I just I also kind of forgot she was there because I forget about her because who's thinking about her? So yeah, okay. Sue Bird and Kalia Copper can go. Ariel Atkins can stay. That's my final answer, and I'm gonna leave before you start talking about the Lakers and hurt my feelings because I'm sensitive.
Oh yeah.
Robyn, I wanted to look up the stats and look up the numbers real quick. But yeah, I agree with everything that you said. Sue Bird, I'm a Sue Bird fan. I've been a Sue Bird fan for a long time, but it's over time for her to retire at this point. Who she is on the court now, I mean, I do think, you know, it's time for the NBA to, we talked about this earlier, you guys talked about this earlier, but to move to the next generation. Sue Bird shouldn't be there. She's taking up a spot. That should be Alicia Gray's spot. Also, Kalia Copper, great player. She had an amazing year here and in Europe. Like she's been killing it, like championships, MVPs in both countries, like really doing her thing. But this year, I don't feel she's hit her step yet. Like that could come in the second part, after All-Star. There's a lot of basketball on those legs, and I don't know, like her to be an All-Star, is it because of all the accolades she got? Like I agree with what 808 was saying there. Make great player, but she hasn't hit that step yet for this guy, I don't think. So that's another person. But me and Robyn are on the same page. Yep.
All right. I want to give everybody an opportunity to weigh in on their thoughts of Dray, Perk, or whatever else we've talked. We have.
Oh, can I on that on the Dray Perk thing? I mean, with Perk,
really do.
I mean, with Draymond, to me, it sounds like a whole clutch thing. Like, make it seem like, oh, y'all needed KD because y'all needed all that to beat LeBron. Like, that's what it sounds like to me personally. It's like it sounds, and I hear what CJ is saying, but I'm sorry, it is a little bit of a difference with Draymond since he's gotten really tight with Clutch. It's just that so that's what I was thinking personally, but that's it. Sorry.
No problem. I want to give everybody else a chance before we move on to the Lakers. So there are 4 hands up. Those are the only 4 I'm going to, and then we're moving on. All of you are going to get 60 seconds, and I know it's not fair. Life ain't fair. We'll go to BadGuy first. BadGuy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Chris, what's going on? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. My son is in camp for another 3 days. Oh, he's got another meet tomorrow because he won. He goes to the summer championship.
Let's go.
Hilarious.
Let's go. I love it.
Oh, he's gonna get smoked. Like he's gonna have to go against 10 and 11-year-olds. It's gonna be bad.
Wow, so kind of father you are, Chris. That's wow.
What? No, like the coaches.
It's good for him. It's good for him.
No, the coaches already set him down and explained that as an 8-year-old, you're at a physical disadvantage compared to a 10-year-old. Like,
Chris,
what are we doing?
I was 8 years old, giving 10 years old 30.
That's how I got better at ball, playing with the old heads.
Basketball isn't swimming.
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, no, I can't swim.
Yeah. Tell that to Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan was a freak. Like that. Anyway, I got to watch Michael Phelps.
Get a point, Chris. Give him a point.
Yeah, I got to watch Michael Phelps growing up, and like, yeah, it's not. Some people are weird. Like, BadGuy, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm watching this, man. It's nice to see. It's not nice to see. I'm just like looking at it. It's like a lot of social media stuff driven. I think that's why like people like the authenticity and all of that. And like everybody got a voice now. We rather just go to the source. I think they rather just not go to the reporter. Dray feel how he feel, right? I just didn't like what had transpired between him and Perkins. I mean, I think Stack 5 said it the best, but yeah, I don't know, Chris. Like, it's that personality. You feel me? It's that social media. It's like, I think about a lot of things, like John McCain versus goddamn Obama. Like, who was more, relevant? Social media. But Trump went and used social media. Look, they got him banned off of Twitter. That's how much he was using it in this and that. And it was, I don't know. I don't support him, but that's all it is. It's the media. Like they saying the new media. The new media is you, Chris. Like you doing it. So I don't know. It's just like a reality aspect. And like I be in the football spaces right now, right? And every fan base is like, yo, like the Jets telling me they going like 13-4. Like every fan base got people like that. And it's not a negative thing. It's just I think there's a part of that in sports where like you got, people who could be overzealous or over passionate or like that. That just show how much they love their team, in my opinion. So you take that with a grain of salt sometimes. That's all I got on it.
All right, appreciate it. Up next, we will go to Dany, who said, I crushed my son's hopes and dreams.
Come on, Chris.
I was here. I was doing something that's so exciting, a response to you.
Yeah, you deserve that. You really
No, but I deserve it. I was panicking because I didn't want to get the one, but I deserved it. Anyway, I'm just gonna say this. I'm sitting here listening, and I know what everybody's saying that Warrior fans and this and that. Yes, there is a faction that sits there and dumps on KD, and there's other people like me. Like it was a mutual relationship. He would not have won those 2 titles without them. Because if his ISO ball had worked, he would have been able to beat the Celtics. And what happened was they double teamed the shit out of him. And this is where Steph comes into play because Steph brings gravity. He would have had a better chance. All that to be said, I think a lot of people dump on KD for a lot of different reasons because he makes these side mouth comments or like people tweets or these subliminal messages and stuff like that. And that's what makes some people mad at him. And he has every right to his opinion and feel this way. But at the same time, he has to remember, or he doesn't say it enough, or maybe he has said it and he hasn't, or I've never heard it. And people will correct me if I'm wrong. He's never acknowledged that, you know what, I needed them too. I got those 2 championships also because of them, because of what Steph does and the system that they run. And we needed him because he's good. He's a good closer. That's just the way it is. I mean, he has one of the purest, beautiful shots. Since he was at Texas, I knew he was going to be a bad brother. And things could have worked out at OKC if someone could have grabbed Westbrook by the neck and said, pass him the ball, or they would have played James Harden more, or paid him. That team would have been set for a while. It would have been battling out the Warriors for a long time if they just would have did the right thing. But that's either here or there. You can't relitigate the past and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we appreciate what KD did. I wish the best for him, but he still got that nut with him, that kumbaya brother over there sitting with him. So he's never going to win nothing as long as I love KD. I want the best for him. But because he's so sensitive and he might going to realize that 80-20 rule, sometimes you just need 80%. You don't need the full 100. He's going to realize that. But at the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm glad that my Warriors are still champs. And I'm looking forward to the Lakers slander. Because guess what? Y'all ain't winning shit either. Y'all going to be sitting there with the Clippers. And I'm tired of people talking about the Clippers. I got a whole issue with them. I want to jump on that bandwagon. If not today, the next Who Spaces about how they're supposed to be the pretty road favorites. We got a bunch of old heads over there. And who they going to get rid of to bring on Bradley Beal? That's a whole entirely different conversation at that. But anyway, that's what I got for right now. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it, Danny. CJ, 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm going to try to be quick. Number one, I want to apologize for hollering earlier because I wasn't hollering at no one in particular in this space. Again, it's just there are Warrior fans who make it very difficult for me to be a Warrior fan on Twitter, which is why I always like to make the joke that I am Twitter's favorite Warrior fan because I am objective, and a lot of Warrior fans are not. Now, the second thing, Draymond talked about the new media, and he specifically defined what he means when he says new media. He said he's talking about people who come out and analyze the game of basketball instead of trying to create drama or controversy. So for people who want to keep crapping on Draymond about the whole thing about the new media, realize that he defined what it is, and if you don't do that, then accept that and don't crap on him for it because he called you out for it. And then the third thing, and this will be my closing statement. Too many people, Warrior fans specifically, want to talk about, oh, why is everybody victimizing KD? No one is victimizing KD. What the fact of the matter is that there have been a group of Warrior fans who consistently shitted on KD once he left and then ignore, or not even ignore, but want to conveniently use collective memory to ignore the fact that he was crucial for the 2 championships that the Warriors won. And they want to focus on everything that went wrong in the last year that KD was there instead of thinking about what happened the 2 years prior to before things went wrong. And that is my issue with Warrior fans when it comes to this whole KD thing. And it is sad. I forgot who said it, and apologize for the person I can't give credit to. But it is sad that ever since the Warriors got to the finals and then won the championship, that KD has been the one who has literally been bogging everybody's conversation about the championship. That is retarded. It is ridiculous because we should be talking about Steph and everybody else who's on the Warriors roster and not Kevin Durant, who is currently not on the fucking Warriors anymore. Excuse my language.
Hey, I'm a huge KD fan in this regard. Like, I think he is masterful at controlling the narrative and trolling, and I'm here for that. I'm not gonna lie. I've always said I'm here for. I get accused for carrying water for KD, and I'm sitting here like I'm not carrying water for one of the greatest players who ever played the game of basketball. Like, I'm just saying he's one of the greatest players that ever played the game. And like I get it because he's an easy target because he responds. Like that's what this all is. He's an easy target because he responds on Twitter. Like if he was like, let's say Trae Young. Like Trae Young doesn't respond in kind like KD does on Twitter, and I don't think KD gets the same level of animus towards him. That's just my opinion. 808s, 60 seconds real quick, and then we got to move on because it's 12:14, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll reset after 808s.
Say less. The real CP3, the one that actually has a championship, actually multiple, if I'm not mistaken, is playing basketball right now. She just hit back-to-back threes. The Sky are 13-15. They have a chance right now to get up there with the Aces. The Aces are 14-4. The Sky have a chance to be in 14-5 today. After that happens, I heard Dany talking about, she's glad the Warriors have a championship. Just know the Aces won't see one. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a great day.
Calm down.
Calm down. Okay. Don't.
See, I knew this was going to happen. When you give 808s the last word, people get upset and they want to reply. I'm like, you got the last word. Life ain't fair. Also, Dany, the Clippers can pick up Bradley Beal with the package of Marcus Morris, Luke Kennard, Brandon Boston Jr., Jason Preston. Just to let you know. It's very possible with future first-round draft picks. All right. Thank you, everybody who popped in. Like you see, I had to do that just to reset the room because it's been spicy today. Shout out to all the Warriors fans, pro KD, anti KD. I love all of you. Like, this is awesome. I didn't think we'd go for almost 2 hours.
Get ready to lose, Domo.
If you have just joined us and you don't know, Domo and 808s have a one-on-one matchup. We're trying to get eyes on with video. There is a poll up there. If somebody says nothing easy over here in a picket game, what does it mean? They about to foul a lot? Are they locking you up? Go ahead and vote and add in your 2 cents. Up next, though, we're transitioning to the Los Angeles Lakers. And, man, let me tell you, it is not looking good.
Lakers pack?
Lakers pack. So let's go ahead and hit some music.
Hold on, let's back up the truck.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. You could be anywhere, but you're here, and we thank you. Welcome to Hoop Spaces, your Hump Day Hoop Spaces here. We're getting ready to talk about LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, and the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers. Who is that? Actually, it's only Talen Horton-Tucker and Kendrick Nunn. There's anybody else on the roster. Like, they still have Stanley Johnson, Wayne Gabriel, and Austin Reeves as club options, right? Do y'all know how screwed the Lakers are in this? It's pretty bad. Shawn, do you have any idea?
They're very screwed.
They are very screwed. The cap, ladies and gentlemen, the cap for this year is projected to be at about 122 and change, 123-ish. And within this cap, they have to fit $47,063,478. That's Russell Westbrook. $44,474,988. That's LeBron James. $37,180,720. That's Anthony Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can do simple math, 3 players take up greater than 70% of the Los Angeles Lakers cap. That is not good. Talen Horton-Tucker, $10,260,000. Kendrick Nunn, $5.25 million. So actually, if you put all 5 who are already up there, within their contracts, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at 82 and change % of your projected cap for the Los Angeles Lakers, with the need to fill a minimum of 5 more roster spots to hold 13 on a 15-man roster. Just bad news for the Los Angeles Lakers. So here we are. Why are the Lakers stuck? It's Russell Westbrook. We'll attack that first. 47 million opt-in, and if you didn't see the tweet, just search for it because it's hilarious. he has to be moved to give the Lakers any chance of flexibility, or Anthony Davis has to be moved to give any chances of flexibility, because the Lakers are about to hit the hard cap and they're not going to be able to do anything. We will start and go around the room first. Shawn, Lakers are not looking good. I'm going to ask you this question. Do they even make the play-in this year or this coming season? Or do they miss it like they just missed it due to injuries and the ability to not to have depth?
I think if they are not injured, they will make the play-in. If they are injured, which LeBron is 38 and Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis, then they probably will not make it. But if you can get 70 games out of LeBron and 70 games out of AD, they're one of the 10 best teams in the Western Conference.
All right, so you think they're one of the best 10 teams. We'll go next. Let's see, who's right next to you? Because I'm also putting together a draft. Domo, your thoughts on the Lakers in next season? You think they make the playoffs or the play-in? And also, if you guys want to say where you think Russell Westbrook is going to end up, we could do that. I've even heard talks like at a buyout. I don't see that happening because they just saw John Wall being bought out, but I don't think the Lakers want to eat that dead money. Domo, go ahead.
Lakers probably playoffs, assuming health, because healthy LeBron, healthy AD is worth at least a 7th seed, I'd imagine, in the West. And I think Westbrook plays. I've said all the time, I think that Russell Westbrook provides something that I think is really underrated, is productivity. He's not really efficient, but sometimes you just need someone who can be productive. What I hope they do is they stagger his minutes extremely. You can give him like the honorary start, but pull him after the first 2 minutes of the game, put in someone who plays better, and then play him almost the entirety of the time LeBron James or Anthony Davis is not on the court. Because if he's running the second unit, all you want out of your second unit is productivity. I don't care about efficiency. I just need someone who can give me 6 points in 8 minutes, even if he goes 3 for 9. Because when my stars are off the court, the only thing I care about is productivity.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he was the most consistent player and the most productive, but that was due to LeBron being injured. I actually think that he's traded, and I'm not even going to put it behind the league to kind of hush this up. You saw it earlier today and late last night, like Woj and Windhorse. Like the idea that Kyrie opting in is the end of Kyrie being moved is not necessarily true. And I just look at Kyrie Irving's 36 million and Joe Harris's 18 million and see 54 million. And then I look at Russell Westbrook and I look at either Kendrick Nunn or THT, and you're looking at either 52 to 57 million.
We would immediately burn down the Barclays Center. Immediately to the fucking ground. Excuse my language.
And you can hear Cash, who's a Nets fan, automatically respond with vitriol. But ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, it is a possibility.
Not happening. It is not a possibility. Do not listen, man.
We will go to Maliika Walker first and then Cash as he battles this understanding of what the word possibility means. The poll is out there, ladies and gentlemen. Do the Lakers make? Is the poll playoffs, play-in, or an early trip to Cancun? Maliika, go ahead.
I think the Lakers make the play-in because I think undoubtedly, like LeBron may get a little injury because of age. Anthony Davis, when is the last time? I mean, if he plays 70 games, and he's dominant, yeah. But they can be either 8th seed. They'll make the play-in. I think they'll be one of the later seeds. If they can stay reasonably healthy. Also, Malik Monk said he'll come back for less. So who knows? But I don't know. Yeah, elite. I agree with Shawn playing.
All right.
Chris, what was that package again for Kyrie?
I don't think so.
No, that's not something that is going to be entertained. Sorry, thank you.
I'm not making a package for Kyrie. I was just merely pointing out that the salaries match. And if there were going to be a trade, a third and fourth team would likely have to be involved to kind of pad both sides.
I'm afraid to see it right now.
No, I was just saying because there was a couple years ago. I said there was nothing that would not
Joe,
make
LA can keep him. Like just FYI.
But
we'll get to
just had 2 bowls of Campbell's tomato soup with all the possibilities.
we'll get to you in a second. I want to get to Cash. I said he's going after Maliika, and then I'll get you in, Joe. Don't worry. Cash, your thoughts. I know you don't like it.
No, Maliika, speak some sense into this man. Maliika, go.
Again, all
Maliika,
I'm saying
attack him.
is
Right
there's a possibility because just because he opted in doesn't mean he can't be moved.
You know that it's a possibility that I could sneeze right now and my brain could fall out of my head. Like, that's a possibility too. Like, what do you like? Possibility is just means that it's
with an actual objective possibility with a third argument response. Like, come on.
I'm telling. First off, well, what you're saying is absurd. Okay, that would be the single. First off, it wouldn't be the single worst trade ever in the history of sports. Immediately, it would immediately be the worst trade in the history of sports. Immediately,
no, it wouldn't.
It would absolutely be. You were literally taking an actual contributing championship piece and trading it to the Lakers and resuscitating their championship hopes because they put themselves in this position. Like, this is the problem, is the Lakers are dealing with a situation that they've never had to deal with before. Like, they are forced to suck and nobody should come and help them. No, you should force this fan base and force this team to have to deal with what other teams and fan bases have to deal with, which is called rebuilding. You must suck to get better. It is part of the pathology and part of the homeostasis of the NBA. Do not reward this team by trading them, by letting them get out from under this contract. Like, they made these decisions. They made them for LeBron. They made them for Anthony Davis. They made them for Westbrook, and now they're stuck with them.
I mean, Russ is expiring, so next season, they'll have that cap space, right?
And next season they'll have that cap space, and they'll be able to be a good team again. Hopefully, I'm with Domo. I think that if there is a psychological shift for Westbrook, where he's able to accept that he comes off the bench, starting is not necessarily his is not what he's asked to do. He plays his role. Then they could be a top 4 team in the West. Because they still have LeBron and they still have Anthony Davis. And if both of those guys, I think if both guys give you 65 games, 60 to 65 games, they're a top 4 team in the West.
Yeah, I think if you add Kyrie to that, I think they're a top 4 team in the league.
No, I think if you add Kyrie to that with health, they're probably the top 2 teams in the league.
I'd give it top 4 because they still have to fill out their roster.
Okay, and I'll also give credit to the fact that the Clippers are probably going to be back this year, in some capacity. That Kawhi is going to be fully healthy, so is Paul George, and that they're going to make some sort of a decent run at this.
I like how you say no, but then you say like, well, it wouldn't be the worst trade in history.
No, it would be the absolute worst. It would be the worst trade. Sean Marks would immediately get his job called for. You're talking about also trading the best player on the team, our superstar's best friend, for a player that he has spotted history with, and who basically like this whole, like, he's not cool with Russell Westbrook. The Nets do not want him on that team. He does not represent what we want to do as an organization. It is just to throw in Joe Harris too, when the team already talked about wanting to get back to what their roots are, which is playing team basketball and continuity. So why would you trade the oldest net that's been on the roster longer than any net for a guy that cannot shoot, cannot contribute, will come off the bench and will give us what, 8 points? Like,
the answer is simple, Cash, because you said it in your soliloquy about the Lakers. Rebuild.
Why would we? You can't. You're going to have to be forced to trade Kevin Durant. Why would
it
you
would
do
be
that?
an admission that this isn't going to
That's what I'm saying. Is the Lakers? If you want to get to my real point, is the Lakers should really invest. They should really look into trading Anthony Davis. If they are going to be bad, they should really look into recouping their picks, and they should be into recouping this energy back. And I think honestly, like, there's no reason you can't. I mean, does LeBron have a no trade clause? Does Anthony Davis have a no trade clause? I mean, I would move all three of them immediately.
They don't, but LeBron won't move unless LeBron wants to move.
But that's all well and good. But you know what? Then you got to do essentially what Sean Marks did to Kyrie and say, okay, go find a trade yourself because we're not trading you. The Lakers need to take. That's what the reality is. The Lakers do actually need to take back the organization in some bit. Like LeBron has led them down this hole of free agency that they're not able to recuperate from.
Yeah, the way I look at it is there's a fundamental flaw in the Brooklyn Nets design, and there's a fundamental flaw in the Los Angeles Lakers design. There's only one fix. Like both teams can't be fixed with a straight up trade. So like the base of the package works, but you have to get a third, maybe even a fourth.
No, I think that the Nets' problems can be fixed via free agency, via growth, free agency, and just being diligent about what the roster.
Have you gone through the free agent ranks? Like, your cap space ain't signing the top tier free agents?
We don't need the top guys,
bro. You need more top guys than you think.
We don't. No, we don't. We have Kevin Durant, we have Kyrie Irving, and we have Ben Simmons. We don't need as many top guys as you think. This team is not going to look the same as people associate that us looking like with James Harden. Like James Harden was a huge hole for us. Like we're going to look much better when you take away you take away his shooting and his scoring, which has been obviously debilitated, and you add an elite wing defense, which was our main failure. Then you add another year of Kessler Edwards developing, which was top tier league elite defense, by the way, if you look at his splits. Then you add another free agent and you get Joe Harris back, who's another wing and positive defensive player that can switch down and handle fours.
No longer a positive defensive player.
He is. He was having his best defensive season last year. He was.
Before
he was at 113. He was at 113. He was
before he was majorly injured and required extended recovery.
Okay, so he's coming back injured. So is Ben Simmons. All of these teams have injury questions. I'm just saying, if we're taking injury into account, we now have the depth at the shooting to absorb another Joe Harris injury or Seth Curry injury, because they both had injured ankles when we traded for them.
Yeah,
okay.
I think you're looking at the Nets through rose-colored lenses.
No, I'm very reasonable about this. I do not think that this team is going to be first I do not think that this team is going to finish first in the division. We're going to have struggles. We're obviously going to have pitfalls and injuries, but it's about getting everybody on the boat at the right time. It's about doing what the Warriors did, which was look at those last 5 games of the season were the most important for that team.
The difference is the Warriors built.
No, they turned a corner. They lost 5 games in a row. Then they finally got healthy and said, this is playoff time. These are all playoff games we need.
They built. And because they built, they had the inherent advantage of being flexible in their finances. Brooklyn didn't build that way. They brought in KD and Kyrie. They brought in Harden. Their finances are more like the Lakers. Like, I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, what you're not understanding is that there's a fundamental change when you replace a star like James Harden with a star like Ben Simmons. It's not a matter of the Warriors can just magically spend more money than people. Their ownership invests in the team 100%, and that's all well and good.
Spend more money than most.
It doesn't matter if you spend the most. You just have to spend the smartest.
So
there are guys out there in this free agency that we can get.
Do both. That's the point. Can't.
We're not, but that's the thing is we're not trying to compare we're not trying to be the Warriors. We have to do our own thing. Nobody can be the Warriors because nobody can manufacture that contract that they got Steph Curry on, and nobody can get those 2 down years that they got and were able to replenish with picks. No one was able to get that sign and trade where Kevin Durant left and they got D'Lo and swung him for Wiggins. Like, those are all well and good. I understand what you're saying, but you're saying the things are not comparing them.
You're going to sign
the things are not comparable, and we don't have to compare them because they're different.
Well, no, you do compare them because the person in charge compared them. And like when you look at the unrestricted free agents, who are you going to get? Like, what moves can the Nets make without making a trade to clear out cap space the following year?
I'll tell you right now, like the Nets can make a move. The Nets have 4 TPEs. The Nets have other prospects that they can move. The Nets have they have talent that they could trade away in Cam. They have young talent that they could trade away that has value in Cam Thomas and Daron Sharp. They have picks for the future that they took from Philadelphia that they have assets to. There are guys. Here's the thing: is what people don't understand about free agency is not everybody's gonna get paid. You can't pay everybody. So there are guys that are gonna fall through the cracks, and those players will fall through the cracks to the Nets.
The issue is that you are believing that it's changing and that the change is actually going to be substantial. The majority of people
doesn't have to be substantial.
Are the change.
I'm not. But what do you think that I'm saying? We're gonna get another fucking super?
No, I'm not. I think that you are arbitrarily kicking this idea of admitting that the idea failed, and instead of clearing this cap space and a 3-team.
What idea failed? What idea are you even talking about? I feel like we both lost the plot here in this argument. My argument is this, and it's plain and simple. The Nets have the ability to get guys that will either fall through the cracks or teams are not interested in because they don't want to get mixed up with whatever they have going for them. Okay, there are guys out there who have damaged reputations. There are guys on there who will not get second looks. There are guys on there who will take less money to win, and free agency is not just a single pulse. You put a stamp on a guy and that's what he's going to get. PJ Tucker just left Miami and people say he might go back. He's connected to us now. He's connected to Philadelphia. He had apparently some people have responded that he signed 2 days ago to Philadelphia and they haven't even announced it yet. We don't know anything yet, and I'm saying that what the Nets are doing is being.
What we do know, Cash, is that it hasn't worked, and what we do know is we don't know
what hasn't worked specifically.
The entire operation. If it had worked, you wouldn't have been swept. Like, that's my point.
We were injured the entire season.
It doesn't matter.
No wings.
See, this is my problem.
Sean Marks built.
This is my problem, Cash. You are doing what we just said the Warriors fans do right now. This is my problem. It did not work. You can't say it didn't work. We were injured. It will not work. You can't say it won't work. Well, what on your roster proves it's going to work? Nothing. That's the point. Like that's the basic point. And like what Shawn did when he went is he saw the base of the trade works. Shawn, what happens when you clear out all that cap? That's the question we should be having, because that's why this trade is being profit. Like, the East is getting better.
And you muted me, You muted me to say nothing. You really muted me to say nothing. Because the reality of the situation is.
Oh, I can't hear you. The reality of the situation is what? I'm sorry, I lost you there.
That was nasty, Chris. That was nasty.
Sinister. You're turning the people against you with you're just pepper. What you're doing is you're just trying to throw pepper on me. So I give you like a little bit of moment here. Like I'm like, and people are attacking.
I don't need to throw pepper at anybody to give myself a moment. If I wanted to give myself a moment, I just give myself a moment. Like, seriously, what are you doing? I want to get T-Rexy in here. Stop.
Why are we talking about a second place team in New York?
Nasty.
T-Rexy, your thoughts as a Nets fan, if you were offered, and like I said, this isn't a straight up deal. You get a third or probably more than likely a fourth team, right? If Kyrie wants out, would you do this trade to clear up cap space and understand that we got to build again? T-Rexy.
If this year fell, I'd consider it to rebuild. But I'm not gonna give up, because if we build right now, that means we do the same old bullshit, and all the draft picks go to the Rockets, and we're gonna have to do the same shit with Shawn Marks did since day one. We too find some bum ass players to take in cash space to get draft picks. So I can't do that right now because the Rockets got literally all control our picks until like 2028, something like that. I don't remember. You could quote me that one. So as of right now, no. But I agree, cash everything except for one thing. I will trade Joe Harris. I'll trade Joe Harris. And the Nets could find a way to get John Collins, you trade Joe Harris. Because me, I don't believe Joe Harris like the rest of Nets fan. Yeah, he's day one. I understand that. He was there since the rebuilding years of the Nets. But I believe it's Steph Curry more than Joe Harris. I believe it's Patty Mills more than Joe Harris. Because Joe Harris, he put to me in the past two playoffs. He was injured last year. For the past two playoff appearances, he went under pressure. I can't have my shorts wet under pressure. As for the Lakers fan, I was so happy to. I was trolling Lakers fan when they actually believed that they could get Kyrie for $6 million. Well, that was a joke to me. But as of right now, Chris, I can't do that trade right now because I'm not getting all that draft pick to the Rockets. No fucking lottery pick over the Rockets.
Yo, at least you got another reason we haven't even brought up because if y'all did that, the Rockets might end up, with like the Oklahoma City desire. Appreciate you, T-Rex. We'll get you back in. Anthony, what you got? He's gonna come up in here a little bit later and talk about cheesecake pancakes, man. Like I know it. I absolutely know it. He's just waiting. All right. Okay. CJ and Domo hop in here, and then we're going to bring back Kashpiracies and Flopaganda. Strongly in denial about the Nets, so we're going to talk Lakers. Go ahead, CJ.
Oh my God, denial! You're so petty. You're so petty, Chris.
I'm gonna just say this. I don't understand the whole idea of trying to build like the Warriors. Like neither organization nor Brooklyn nor the Lakers have the patience nor the front office to even be capable of building anything because their history has been to buy their teams. And I mean that in the sense of either they trade for stars or they try to pay stars in free agency. And I get it. The idea is to get the greatest collection of talent possible to win, but both organizations have not shown the capacity to be able to build anything because that's not how they want to operate. They'd rather try to buy their championships, and we see how that worked out for the Nets. It worked once with AD for the Lakers as far as just as of late, but like that doesn't work. Like you look at Milwaukee, you look at the Warriors, you even look at Phoenix. Those teams have built what they had and then they added integral pieces through free agency. But majority of those teams have just been built by the organizations that had an understanding that, look, we're going to have to take the time out to just build up our scouting staff, build up our player development, get the greatest coaching staff we possibly can, and then get the talent to add with that. And that has to be the perfect mesh. But I don't think the Lakers nor Brooklyn are going to be capable of doing that unless they come to terms with the fact that they both may just have to rebuild and start over.
I like that. They both need to rebuild and start over. That's an interesting point there. Jalen Smith is an unrestricted free agent. Cash, did you know that?
I have multiple Jalen Smith tweets. Multiple.
He right now,
not even one of the three guys I would have taken from Indiana.
He might be like the Nets' best free agent acquisition.
No, the Nets need to go get Luke Kornet.
Luke Kornet. There you go. That'll score you points around here.
Domo, what's up?
Okay, so context is extremely important. So I've listened to you and what was it, Cash, go back and forth for My first question to you, Chris, is number one: when you say it didn't work, what do you mean specifically when you say you didn't work? And what I'm actually asking is, what do you think the end goal for the Brooklyn Nets is?
Put the
And
goalpost in the ground and keep it there.
let's set a standard here, because is it to win a title? Because only one team does that every year. So are you saying that the Brooklyn Nets will not win a championship, and if they don't, this is an abject failure?
No.
Okay, so what are you trying to say?
I don't believe in the black and white of a championship defines success beyond the competitive measure. The issue that I have, and the reason why I don't see this working, is one of the things they wanted to do was make the Brooklyn Nets a viable competitive rival with like the Knicks within New York, right? And then have the same level of respect as the Nets nationally as a brand. And I'm sorry, I get more people making fun of the Nets than
That's
saying
not what we wanted at all.
Okay, can you pause? Okay, stop. Chris, can you pause there for 1 second?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so one, let's break down the word respect. Are the Brooklyn Nets a equal, slightly worse, or slightly better ran basketball organization than the New York Basketball Knicks? Just purely basketball.
For me, for purely basketball, I would actually say the Knicks under Leon Rose have probably done better than the Nets under Shawn Marks. Prior to Leon Rose, the Nets were better than the Knicks.
I disagree about that.
I yield the rest of my time to Cash. There's no saving you.
Thank you.
That's interesting.
Thank you. That's all the answers we need.
So the dude just trades Noel and Alec Burks, clears more cap space, gets future first.
And I don't even like Shawn Marks. I don't even really like Shawn Marks
You're
like
saying
that.
the Nets are not the Nets are in no way, shape, or form in a position to be a perennial.
We're not even trying to be the Nets. Like we will never be the Nets.
Let me get a little bit more time back, and I get the rest.
Oh, you will, KD leave. You will, though. You will.
Anthony comes in randomly and just throwing shots.
Slash Brooklyn Nets are in no way, shape, or form a perennial basketball championship team. They are not the Golden State Warriors. They are not the Lakers. They are not the Spurs of old. They are not the Heat. But for you to say that the Knicks that are personally responsible for Stephen A. Smith's hairline being where it is today are a better ran organization than the Nets, sir, is blasphemous.
Whoa. It is not. I gave you a clear definition of time.
They just got names over there. That's it. That's all.
A clear definition of time. Prior to Leon Rose,
they got names. That's it.
Better.
That's all they got. Some bunch of names. That's it. That's all. Cool.
We need Shawn with a W in here because this also sets up live from the Mecca.
This is nasty work. This is disgusting, Chris.
Shawn is probably at work and not able.
You are everything you just said. You are old me.
I'm here. I'm getting a haircut.
Oh, he's getting a haircut. We're setting you up for live from the Mecca, and no
Stephen A. Smith, you son.
What? I don't understand why Domo's having such a hard time understanding this. Like, they had a different GM, and he sucked, and then the owner was running the buck, and they sucked. Leon Rose comes in, and yeah, he might not be the greatest, and he might be cantankerous and doesn't talk to people, but there's a clear direction. There's a clear plan, and they are executing it like to a T, to the point that they just unloaded Alec Burks in the well and got positive back, and they ain't get nothing back, dude. Like, that shit is golden as a GM.
Not gonna lie, Chris, I was ready to disagree with you until you broke that down just now. I get where you're going with that direction.
Basketball maneuver a decade, Chris.
They made 6 this offseason alone.
Yeah, we did better than the Lakers.
That's made.
Yeah, we did better than the fucking Lakers.
And Chris, you got to remember these guys were in the Sacramento Kings front office. You got to remember that too.
See, you know what? I'm gonna give you 3 points, man, because that joke is never going to die, and then people are now gonna realize, wait a second, how does he know? Did Chris infiltrate the Knicks front office too? Hey, make sure
Not the music, Chris.
None of
Not the
these moves are
music.
different.
did you?
All of these moves are baseline. Like this is just all them trying to clear cap space for a move we all collectively don't like them to do anyway, which is go after Jalen Brunson.
Speak for yourself, Cash. Speak for yourself, Cash. Don't say collectively. Speak for yourself, Cash.
Nobody likes this deal, and he's not going to make a difference on this team. He's not a championship piece.
Just because you don't like the deal doesn't mean the rest of us don't like the deal.
All right, well, it's not a smart move for you guys to do. You guys should spend your money more wisely.
That is so subjective. I love it.
No, it's pretty obvious. He's not going to be. Was he going to be the second or third best player on a championship team? And then when he gets exposed because he's a midget, it's like,
but Cash,
he's
it's
not
still
that good.
subjective,
He's not
though.
that good defensively. He shined next to Luka. Like he's going to get his money and he should get paid. And this is just another part of the Knicks going down this rabbit hole of trying to achieve a point guard when they had every opportunity to trade up and make one.
Chris,
But now Chris wants to pettifog and act like this double deal, the side deal they did to clear space and get Alex Burks makes them better than the Nets. The Nets bounced.
What did we do to hurt you? What did we do to hurt you?
The Nets bounced so hard with 0 draft picks. If the Nets had any of the picks of the clout that the Knicks have had in the past 10 years, do you know what we would look like compared to y'all? We had no picks.
I need to give you a point for pettifog because that is a very under word.
It's nonsense to think that we're even in the same league. We're even in the same league.
Yeah.
Listen, you got
Chris,
KD,
I want to
James
know how
Harden,
much
and
credit
Kyrie, and
you
you
give
still
the
haven't done
Nets
shit.
for
So
stealing
what
this.
does it matter?
James Harden quit on our fucking team.
It
James Harden was
doesn't
actively
matter.
not trying.
Yeah, see, like I love how this is going in this direction. Like you're yelling at each other and we can't hear you. This is the problem, right? Somebody asked the question. I gave a very specific answer, and then I gave a very explicit explanation. And then another person who's not even remotely close to East Coast ties was like, I was disagreeing with you, but damn, you are right. And now I agree with you. The only holdout here is the Nets fan. Oh, shocker. Shawn. Anytime ready, Shawn. Like, please.
Okay. All right. So, hold on a second. Can you hear the thing in the background?
We can hear it.
Oh, you can? All right. I'll give me a few minutes.
All right. Yeah, get your haircut, bro. You got to look good.
Listen, Chris, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the Knicks do or don't do. Like Shawn said the other day, it's damn if they do, damn if they don't. Some people already have their misconceived ideas that whatever move they make, regardless of if it's good or bad, it's going to be bad anyway. So
what Bankai
doesn't
just
even really matter. Like the Knicks could, I guarantee you this. The Knicks could sign the best player in the league, and you still get like 50% of people saying it's a shit move. They'll try to find any excuse to try to say it's a shit move. I guarantee you that.
It's like my man Jeff J. It's like my man Jeff J. always said. Hold on. It's like my man Jeff J. always says. The Knicks could sign 93 Michael Jordan, and y'all would say that he's fat and drinks too much Henny.
You know what's funny is the Lakers off season is so miserable. Like we're not even talking about the Lakers during the Lakers segment.
Because you tried to ruin it by bringing up this ridiculous Russell Westbrook for Joe Harris and Kyrie trade. You did it to the segment. You ruined the segment yourself.
It is
y'all don't realize he's a pop star, and y'all keep on falling for it.
This is what I'm saying, dude. You're sprinkling pepper where it doesn't belong. You're oversalting the steak.
Okay. So I am not, and this is why. I said clearly that you would have to add a third or fourth team in there to get the trade to actually be good.
You not say that. You never said that.
Chris definitely said that.
You're going to go back and listen to this recording, and then you're going to come up here tomorrow and be like, damn it, Chris, you were right. Don't tell me what I didn't say. I know what I said.
Bring that up as part of a trade package for Kyrie Irving and
I said that. I said it was the base. You would need to get a third team and more than likely a fourth team to even it out. That is what I said.
That is true. He is right about that.
And if you add a third and a fourth team,
still not happening. Still
Yeah.
not even in the realm of possibility. I don't even know why we're still talking about it.
You're doing it again. So back to the Knicks being better ran.
Making sense. Speaking logically. Excuse me.
Nerlens Noel, Wnba Walker, and Jalen Duren go to Detroit. $32.4 million of caps clearing for the Knicks, netting them around $30 million of what's called practical space. All right? Like, they are set to do what they plan to do. That is what the front office's job is about. So they are executing their job. They're executing their mission, and they are succeeding. Y'all just had to convince Kyrie Irving to come back. And you want to tell me that the Knicks aren't in the same league as a ran organization?
Like, Chris, don't forget Alec Burks too. He's going to Detroit.
No, I said Burks. All right. CJ has his hand up. We'll go to CJ. We'll give Shawn a couple more minutes. We'll go to Shawn, and then Saint from Next Kingdom is going to pop up here. I don't know what he's going to say. I'm going to laugh, though, if he agrees with me. CJ, and then Shawn, pick up when you're ready.
I just want to bring up 2 points. One, to what Cash was saying about the Jalen Brunson being a bad deal or whatever. And y'all can take this for whatever y'all want to take it for, but there are people who believe that Jalen Brunson has another level he can go to, but it was not shown in Dallas because he played next to one of the most ball-dominant players in the league. That's one. And two, Woj did say that there is a possibility that the Kyrie for Russ trade could be revisited at some point during the season, like before the trade deadline. So, like, that's not a dead idea either. I just want to bring that up. So, yeah, do with that what y'all will.
That is Sean Marks trying to work Woj to get Kyrie and KD back at the table because he basically played chicken and lost.
All right, real quick, we have a question from Y. What's the talk on Utah? They hired a new coach. They are shopping JC. Are they in rebuild mode? Danny Ainge hired or is going to hire, I don't know if they officially signed it, Will Hardy. This is a fantastic hire. A lot of people will say, oh, it's Boston. It's not. It's San Antonio. And Greg Popovich had Will Hardy probably on his short list of those to replace him in San Antonio. I think he's not necessarily ready, but I think it doesn't matter in Utah. So I do think they're heading for a rebuild. I think they'll mask it while trying to keep Gobert and Mitchell for the All-Star break. Point to Shawn, because Shawn's been saying that for almost a year. And eventually, though, it will give way to a full rebuild. It's just untenable in Utah. I do think that if they could swing a Donovan Mitchell trade where they get back playable assets as opposed to first rounders, I think they do that. So, like, if there's a 3-team where Miami gets Mitchell and then, like, the Jazz get back Hero and Duncan Robinson and reroute him and somebody else and reroute them and then bring in, like, Karis LeVert or Colin Sexton, then we're having a completely different conversation with Utah. But that's the problem with Utah, is that Danny Ainge isn't going to tell anybody what he's going to do. I hope that answers your question, why. Appreciate it. Shawn, you ready?
Yes. Are the Clippers too loud?
No, you're good.
Okay. So the point you're trying to say is that since March 9th, 2020, when Leon Rose took over, the Knicks are a better run organization than the Nets. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay. See, my barber just laughed when I said that. While I would not say that's definitely my barber's also like a Philly dude who like tells me. It's funny. He used to tell me all the time. Wait, what? Last year, he used to tell me I should abandon the Knicks for the Nets. You used to say that, right? You still believe that, right?
Yes.
Go to hell. What I would say is, while I'm not going to say that is true, I can see how the argument can be made simply if you look at the moves that have been made since then. Because to Chris's point, the Knicks have a plan, they have a goal, and they have a clear direction, and they're taking steps in that direction. Yes, last offseason, the moves that they made were not the best, but the fact that they were able to undo those moves for the low price of second round picks is a testament to how they set themselves up. Whereas the Nets, since March 2nd, 2020, decide what they decide to do. Huh?
You sound like you're in a blender.
Nah. Yeah, you're in the blender. Keep fighting it though.
Can you hear me? Damn it. All right.
Like we hear like every other word, and then the Clippers get you or something else gets you.
First of all, if my barber would have told me to go from the Knicks to the Nets, I would have fired his ass. Fuck, I would have fired
Anthony.
That's why you got a bad haircut.
We love Anthony.
They nicked you, bro. They fucked your hairline up.
Man got the Stephen A. Smith.
Oh hell no! Don't do that.
Real quick, Domo, hop in here. Then I want to get Saint in. I need another co-host. I'm gonna pass it over here to Papi Chulo. Yeah, I'll snag him. That way I can get Danger up here. Domo, real quick, and then Saint's ready.
Three things. I'll make them all quick. Number one, 28% of the head coaches in the NBA were at a point in time in San Antonio, had an apartment or a home there. You're welcome for your entire organization. Please pay homage and respect. Number two, no one's saying, listen, Jalen Brunson can be a very good basketball player, might be an all-star. All I'm saying is that the Knicks signing him does not make them a better organization than a team that just, 2 summers ago signed 2 of the top, 10 to 12 players in basketball, depending on your opinion of Kyrie. And no one's, and other people talking about how they found some way to salvage James Harden's contract and unloaded him to Philly and got back a top 10 defensive player and a top probably 10 passer as well whenever he decides to play basketball, and some shooters and a couple picks, if I remember correctly. Last thing I want to say is I heard someone say Colin Sexton. Bringing Colin Sexton to San Antonio on pushing the agenda. There are ties there. I want to see him in the Spurs jersey, and he can wear number 2 because we're not retiring Kawhi's number.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love Colin Sexton in San Antonio. This is something I can get behind. This is something I can get behind.
What? So he can lose?
Thanks to CJ, he shot me a DM. It's 123.6, so I was off by 0.6 million. Like, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember the exact number. I probably should have had it up, but I actually didn't expect to talk, full cap here. I just want to throw in an estimation. And I want to thank everybody who's popped in here. We're going to continue on till about 1:30. And I just want to say, once again, that the Detroit Pistons are having a better offseason than the Los Angeles Lakers. And I say that because we've talked more about the Los Angeles Lakers in other segments. And then yet when we get to the segment where we're supposed to talk Lakers, we end up talking Nets and Knicks. So, there's that. Saint, you are here. I think you heard all of the back and forth between Cash and I. And if not, I'm sure, you can understand exactly how that went. Better run organization since Leon Rose took over. Nets or Knicks?
Listen.
No one's going to say the Knicks.
No, look at you. Your hedge and hesitancy speaks volumes.
Just so you know, this is our friendship right now.
Just say it.
First of all, can you guys hear me all right? Because I'm out doing the dad thing.
Yeah.
I'm driving. My Jeep is not the quietest vehicle in the world. So
he's thinking.
There's too many. Listen, the problem with making that, if the Nets didn't have some of the crap that's happened to this team outside of their control, I would definitely say the Nets are a better run organization. However, since these things have happened, it has exposed a lot of things, i.e. the front office and their moves not looking as good as people perceive them to be. And I definitely think there was a little bit of delusion going on in Nets world every time we would get to this free agency part. And I remember I'd always say this, and people would be like, nah. But I'm like, bro, you realize where we're at money-wise. None of these moves, we could sit here and convince ourselves that these moves are great, but at the end of the day, when one of these guys fall or something happens, you see the value of the moves, and people then finally go, okay, yeah, they suck, right? And you got to put that on the front office. But listen, the Lakers, Nets, and Knicks, nobody has any room anywhere if you're a fan to be bragging about anything, right?
Exactly.
Like we are all in a shitty spot. Like, I'm not even going to do this Nets are better than Knicks, right? Like, I can say that if things actually work out for the Nets and Kyrie's there balling out all year, KD doesn't get injured, Ben Simmons returns, and we do halfway decent moves, we'll be better than the Knicks and the Lakers combined, right? Like, that's a reality, and I think people know that. But that's a big if. But what I will say, Chris, is I think you're kind of like, I feel like you should be putting your 76ers in this conversation too, though. Because I feel like you guys are also not in a great scenario either. I'm just saying.
The difference is I already have said in my scenario that Doc Rivers extricates my heart from my chest.
I know you do. I know where you stand.
I've already accepted that we have a poorly ran, structured front office because we have a corporate structure that has now created like 3 different fiefdoms. You got Elton Brand, you've got Daryl Morey, and then you've got this other dude. I can't remember his name right now.
Traded for James Harden and agreed to have Moses Malone's son beat up.
All I'm saying is this is master level Yoda once again of deflection to spend time talking about all the other
got
shit
them Wonder
shows
Woman gauntlets
in
on.
the NBA other than your own organization.
He's got them Wonder Woman gauntlets. And here's the thing: is I will admit. Here's the thing: I will admit.
And then I'll go on mute. As far as what Chris was saying about the trade with, like, obviously to me, like, if things fall apart this year for the Nets and it just goes awry and the Nets are like, yeah, we're moving off Kyrie, like, from a clearing cap space standpoint, like, I gotta give, like, Chris is 100% correct. Now, would I like to see other options of the Nets trying to trade Kyrie and get better things and clear cap space and maybe picks and whatever? Like, yeah, I would like to see that first, but being able to knock $47 million off somehow would be a beautiful thing. So I kind of got to agree with Chris in this scenario as far as that's concerned. And obviously, like, to his point, he did say a 3-team trade deal that could trade it. I'm with you on that, but honestly, that's not my first choice, Chris, if I'm being honest.
Hey, it doesn't need to be your first choice.
You are 100% correct. It is an option.
You don't need to knock off $47 million when you don't spend it unwisely in the first place. How about that?
Okay. See, now you're catching up, Cash. I like that.
I didn't even get any bells for nothing.
No, he got no bells.
Well,
He's not saying his bells.
The reason why is you hedged for so long that Cash called you out and said our friendship is on the line.
But he knows I didn't mean it. He knows I didn't mean it.
I love Cash, but Cash and I disagree all the time.
All the time.
The friendship does not get hedged on. I'm not that fake.
You got a point. I want to get Bankai in here because I promised him, and then we got Papi Chulo, and then we'll go back to Shawn to talk about Live from the Mecca with Cedric, Jeff, and Shawn with a W. And then we're going to talk to Danger Mouse, another Nets fan who left the Nets to root for the Mavs. And we're going to ask Saint and Cash, if this is allowed. Bankai, go ahead.
That's dirty.
Hello?
Yep.
Sorry, I got
give it to him.
Hello?
All right. Okay. You good? You good now? Or you need the phone call?
I got a phone call. My bad. I declined it. But no, I was gonna say I believe Saint was the one who mentioned, as we can't really brag about anything. I don't believe Knicks fans or myself or Shawn or Seth or anybody has really bragged about anything the Knicks front office has done. But to kind of lump us in and say, well, like, you can't brag because you guys are not doing anything and you're in a miserable spot with the Lakers and the Nets, I think is a bit unfair because the Knicks are a rebuilding team, and we've known that they've been a rebuilding team for a couple of seasons now. And we have cap space. We just cleared up a ton of cap space. We have the assets, right? So why would we be in a miserable spot like the Nets and Lakers? The Lakers and Nets are expected to win championships, and the Nets haven't delivered so far with their big three, big two now. The Lakers kind of, delivered in the bubble, but since then they haven't been really good. The Knicks weren't expected to win any championships. So it's not that it's anything to brag about, but at least the Knicks right now have a better direction than both the Nets and the Lakers.
Can I respond to Bankai when he's done? Just
Yeah, go ahead, real quick though.
Bankai, that listen, I understand what you're saying, but I think ultimately the reason why I put you guys there is because season after season, you guys throw ridiculous money at people that is never going to move the needle, and somehow always manage to screw up your young assets. So that's why I kind of put you guys like in that realm. And it's like every season you see Knicks fans, like not all, like, and I'm not going to put you in there, or like I'm not going to do that, but you see like the Knicks make moves and fans just gas these moves and they're like freaking out and like, oh my God, we're going. And then it's like, once again, you throw money at something that, yeah, the guy's an okay player, but it's not going to do anything. And then whether it's your coach or your front office, so I kind of have to lump you in the sense of like, you've been rebuilding for 20 years, right? Like at some point,
actually,
like,
we haven't been rebuilding for 20
well,
years.
20 years away, but you guys have been rebuilding for a long time, bro, with nothing really ever
Okay, but
And what the hell was y'all fucking doing? What was y'all doing?
I know we suck too. That's
What
why I
the
put
fuck
you
was
all
y'all doing?
there.
Come on.
I'm just
Really?
saying, come on, dude.
Really?
All right. I love Anthony. Like he just comes in with haymakers, man. Like, you know, in wrestling, the dude that runs down to the ring and like pulls out the fire extinguisher from underneath the mat and then clocks the dude in the head. Shawn, where are the Knicks next year? Are they 44-win team? If they sign Brunson?
My barber just told me that we're the worst organization in basketball, and I said to him, "The Sacramento Kings exist."
Yeah, tell him he's not getting paid today.
And then he said, "I will."
You guys came from Sacramento, though.
He said, "No, but your fan base acts this certain way," and I say, "So do the Kings fans, but you don't know that because you don't know any Kings fans." And he said, "Touche."
That's a smart barber. I like him.
But listen, Chris, Shawn, if I might counter that just really quick. Look, I get the revisionist history with like, oh, the Knicks always go for the home run and they haven't gotten this when they tried. Okay, fine. I get that. That happened years ago, is whatever. But as of the last two seasons, and like Chris mentioned, since Leon Rose took over, the Knicks haven't been trying to the Knicks didn't go after any crazy big names. They didn't try to throw the bag at anybody. They made low-key small moves, right? They signed the Alec Burks guys. They signed the Nerlens Noel, the Derrick Roses they traded for. They made small moves, and they haven't ruined any of the young talent that they've recently gotten. And even since they got RJ Barrett, I don't see RJ Barrett being ruined. Obi Toppin doesn't look ruined to me. Neither does Quickly. So you're kind of like lumping in the past with what's going on now.
You got to tell the whole story, though, Bankai. And Evan Fournier is part of that story.
Well, Evan Fournier is likely to be traded. Like, you do understand that. And then
that's what I'm saying but here's the thing is last season and this season both exist. Like they did what they did last season, and to a lot of people they made a lot of missteps and whatever, and now they're going to try to have to. I mean, collectively, do y'all want to? I mean, you're Knicks fans. Do you want to get off Julius Randle and Evan Fournier? And how do you
mind if Evan Fournier? Julius can go.
Julius Randle, if he can go, to be honest, if he's going to have the same crappy attitude,
he can stay for one more season.
Hey, look, send him to Philly. Like, I love his $23 million contract.
Bro, get out of here, Chris. You want a non-shooter again? You already had Danny Green.
We don't have Danny Green any longer.
For who though? Randall for
he's 23.7 mil. Like, give me a bone. Like, give out 2 first-round picks and Tobias. Like, make it happen. The numbers aren't difficult. We just seen people move with greater contracts. The issue is, are they willing to pay the compensation for it? And right now, the Sixers don't. And I don't agree with them. I think they are wrong. And I think it's going to cost us an actual chance to win a championship. But, like, that's the Sixers. It's always been the Sixers.
So Julius Randle, Tobias Harris, is what you say?
Well, no, Tobias wouldn't go to New York. Tobias would have routed to somewhere else.
All right, so Julius Randle for who?
Oh, it would be a 3-team, and you would have to convince a team that's going to be in rebuilding mode to want to move off of a player that benefits New York. So, like Miles, you're right. I mean, they don't really have a dude that moves the needle for the Knicks.
My barber agreed with everything that you said, Chris.
Cool. I might have to.
By the way, Chris, I know you mentioned that move that the Jazz are making, hiring the new head coach.
Yeah.
That's a little bit underrated as well for the Knicks, because I know obviously all the Knicks fans are aware, but that means that Johnny Bryan isn't going anywhere. I guess some of us kind of thought that he was going to end up in Utah and get that head coaching spot, but he's going to stay. So that's pretty underrated for us.
And real quick,
very good thing.
Quietly, another reason why, like, you as Nets fans, Cash and Saint, you like your young guys. And I like Cam Thomas, and I like Day'Ron Sharpe, and I like Kessler Edwards. Quietly, the Knicks have actually accumulated more young players who've received more minutes than the Nets. Just another point that they are a better run organization since Leon Rose took the job. And I'm talking about R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Manuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, and then they traded for Cam. They didn't really play him last year. He's going to get all the minutes he can get.
And Jericho Sims is about to get his contract
and there you
converted to a full-time one.
See? So, hey, just throwing it out there. The Knicks have secretly, quietly been rebuilding. And it's been actually successful. Papi Chulo, hop in here, get your take on, talk about the 77 spaces that you just had. We look forward to the next one. And then we'll bring in Danger, and then we'll just open it up for everybody to talk. I think Landon Buford's got something he's going to want to share, too. Go ahead, Jose. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Finally get to be able to get in. Good afternoon, Hoop Spaces. Good afternoon, Dirk Nowitzki, Nico Harrison, Luka Doncic, who's about to take the court tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So I probably won't be in Hoop Spaces because I'm going to be trying to find that stream of Luka playing tomorrow. So I just wanted to say good morning to all of Dallas because you know we have a bright future unlike San Antonio. So let's move on from that. I think the Mavericks will be fine without Jalen Brunson. I mean, I'm intrigued to see if we could pry Gary Payton II off of Golden State, but if we can't, I mean, we got Jaden Hardy, and I'm not expecting him to be huge in what we got going forward, but this season wise. But other than that, I want to see him be able to get his minutes, and I really think he'll get his minutes. I'm ready for free agency. As much as the timeline has been stressed about Jalen Brunson, I mean there's some revisionist history because last year in the playoffs against the Clippers, he was barely playing. Like Rick Carlisle put him on the bench, and Luka was still able to take that team to 7 games in the series. And you know, even going into this year, Jalen Brunson took a big step and became a great component to what we have. And I don't really see Nico being part of the blame. I really see this going back on Donnie and Cuban because Donnie's the one who offered Jalen Brunson that rookie contract just because they were trying to salvage cap space for a big star. And you know, I'm really hoping that Mark Cuban, in some way, shape, or form, gets it through his thick fucking skull that you have to draft players, you have to develop players, and you sometimes just gotta build in house. Like you're not as sexy as New York. You're not as sexy as LA. So you got to do what you got to do in order to put out a championship contender year after year. And part of the reason why I was kind of plotting on the Nets' downfall is because I'm.
Ooh, that is nasty.
What universe are you stuck in right now?
Mark Cuban disconnected that line.
That was a serious level of karma. Is this the guy that you were talking about being a Nets fan, going to be a Dallas fan?
That's what I want to talk about right now. All
No.
that praying on my downfall. You need to pray for your Wi-Fi.
Ugh, Papi Chulo, man, that was rough because you was cooking. I was enjoying that. You out, Cash? Like you leaving? Like I saw a peace sign.
Oh, he just left
Oh,
Earth, is what he
no,
said.
I had to. I had to remove.
Aliens.
I had to remove him. Yeah,
Yo,
from the
that
co-host
was worse
because like
than
he
when
wasn't
Anthony
weren't
used
going
to
to be able
have
to.
that Razor phone.
Oh, I remembered that. Point to Bankai. Look at that.
We get a point for that. What the fuck?
All right, hey, Papi Chulo, Jose.
Oh God, he's got the chair.
When you pop back up, we'll let you continue. Up next, though, we're gonna go to Danger, ladies and gentlemen, and he is entering the arena, and I should actually get some music for that, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll work on that.
Danger.
And here comes Papi Chulo back. He's entering the arena, a Nets fan who, after they had to depart, became a Mavs fan. He is here. We'll let Papi Chulo go and finish up though, because he was cooking, and then we'll get to Danger. Papi, welcome back.
So I had got a call. So I hope you could hear me now. Can you?
Oh yeah, we could hear you. It just we thought you were abducted by aliens.
No, I had got a call. I need to put my phone on do not disturb when I get into the spaces. But yeah, I was kind of praying on the Nets breakup. Like, I mean, I'm just tired of these one way type of teams that think that have the philosophy that you need to pair multiple players together in order to win. And I mean, with the Golden State Warriors' success, I kind of want to modelize my team after their success. You know, like even the Spurs, even though I hate them, they really built in house. You know, Kawhi was a gem. So it's just like I really want the Mavs to really prioritize being built at home. Like Detroit, fantastic. I really love what Detroit is doing, and I can't wait to see the progress of where they're going to be at in the year or so. Shit, I'm probably going to be bullish on them and say they're going to make the play in. But I think if the New York Knicks really do complete this Jalen Brunson acquisition, I think they're going to get a really good, strong-headed point guard, a great leader like they've been expecting. And, you know, we'll see y'all in the regular season because we sure ain't going to see y'all in the playoffs.
He's shooting shots. Mo Bamba, ladies and gentlemen, not expected to receive a qualifying offer. That is one of the worst kept secrets.
Come home, Mo. Come home, Mo.
Now that since there was some Spurs talk, Domo, of course, wants to retort and reply with some Spurs propaganda to balance it out. Domo, 30 seconds real quick, as you know, somebody just came up here and roasted you.
Tim Duncan is better than Dirk Nowitzki. Peter Holt's better than Mark Cuban. Tony Parker is better than Jason Kidd. Our young team will be better than your young team after this season. You'll never win another championship. Dallas North Tollway is stupid. We have better Mexican food than you. Your suburbs are dumb. It's way too many municipalities up here. The only reason this city has anything decent is because of Plano. It's sad when the suburbs are better than the actual city. Like Plano was growing better than actually Dallas. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, the South Dallas Fade is dumb. Y'all can't dance. Houston's the better city in Texas. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Man, just laying waste, man. I can't wait for this one-on-one that you have with.
God.
Please tell me you're videotaping it, man. Like you got a tripod and you got it set up that we can see this.
What am I, a basketball influencer? You think
This
I
might
can
be the first.
make a TikTok?
This might be the first earthquake Texas has ever suffered from.
Like you don't have $15 to get a tripod?
Shoot, as many times 808's gonna foul me. You might be right, Cash.
Yeah, get a tripod. You got to get a tripod.
Get this.
I'll get a drone. I don't give a shit. Someone film this, please.
All right. Well, we are at that time, ladies and gentlemen, where we are introducing someone who came out as a two-team fan in the playoffs, and we're going to ask his brethren, his Nets brethren, to hear his plea and pass, basically judgment that doesn't matter. And Danger's going to be okay with this because he's a cool guy who does great poetry and haikus, just like Jose. And I actually appreciate that. And with the haiku thing, you and I need to talk about that because I think we can work out something and do something together with haikus and basketball. I think it'd be dope. Danger, ladies and gentlemen, say hi to the good people.
Chris, thank you for that warm introduction, but unfortunately for you, I did not come up here for a haiku today. I came up to choose violence. I did not plan on talking during this offseason before free agency. I didn't want to hop in here and talk about the draft. I don't want to talk about Victor Wembanyama. But I come in here, I support the show, I listen, and I'm sitting down in the crowd, and then I just start hearing just some crazy stuff coming out of the host's mouth. And usually I like Cash, but that man was being way too cordial and kind to you during your discussion that you were having. What planet are we living on that the Leon Rose Knicks have been run better than pretty much anyone? First off, you want to bring up the two teams. You know who I got to watch play 45 minutes a night all the way through the conference finals? Reggie Bullock, who the Knicks let walk when they were a playoff team and immediately fell back into the lottery because they wanted to pay Evan Fournier. Then I got to hear you talk about, well, they have a better young core than the Nets. That's because the Nets are in championship mode. We're not worried about draft picks. What are you talking about, Chris? Secondly, I am a Nets fan first who happens to enjoy the musings of Luka Doncic on a basketball court. What I was really doing was being a deep agent spy and scouting Jalen Brunson so I could make fun of the Knicks all season for hiking up their skirts for old daddy's boy and trading the whole damn team a lottery pick and giving them Damian Lillard money to go play sub 500 ball in the Garden. This is a joke. I will not stand for it.
And Villanova guards, they'll get you.
Hey, Chris,
come on. There's a lot of smart people in here. Enough of this madness.
Danger, I'm okay with Danger being a two-team fan after that. I mean, I'm okay. I mean, that kind of solidified it for me. I'm okay with him being a deep eight.
All right, you got the seal of approval from what do you say, Cash?
And now I'm going to root for the Mavericks even harder with that little rugrat nerd running point guard in the Garden. I hope the Mavs and the Nets tie for the championship for the next 10 years and dance on Rick Brunson's grave.
I'm formally starting a foundation in Danger's name.
We are the Brooklyn Dallas Mavs Nets, baby.
It'll go to educating poor basketball fans like yourselves into thinking that the Knicks were better front office. This man does not play games with any of you. This is foolishness.
When you're biased, and your biases come out, and he's biased to the Nets. It's all good.
Nah, that's it, man. You watch the highlights of Jalen Brunson running Mike Conley around for 3 games for the rest of your life, because that's all you got to have.
See, the problem is that you're equating and quantifying different than I am, right?
No, I'm equating you guys the Knicks convinced themselves into a barrel, which was Julius Randle, and then you're about to go buy another smaller barrel.
y'all just mean for mean's sake, man. Like
I'm trying to help you. You don't think I want basketball to be good in New York? I don't want the Knicks to suck.
My issue is like Jalen Brunson has improved.
Like I'm a Mets fan who wants the Yankees to be good. That's how much I love sports.
They're talking a lot of crap for a team that had a super team and hasn't delivered shit. So
because
everyone got hurt. We came a toenail away from winning the.
Man, Shawn, how you doing? Like, even Shawn put the headset down for a second. Quantifying what's better as a front office isn't necessarily anything more than being able to execute your plan and put your team in a position to consistently compete and then win a championship. Like, it's a philosophical approach, as all things are in life, when you want to look at a living organization. How do you create something that's a living, evolving, adapting institution centered around perennial contention. And the Lakers and the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Cowboys, the Steelers for a while back in the 70s and 80s, they were able to do it because they paid, right? The Spurs, the Patriots, the Warriors, the Rays, the Cubs, they did it because they had to build, right? Those are just two different philosophies. But regardless of your philosophy, you should have a plan that's able to be seen by your fans, the players, and the media. And when you disagree with the move, that's a subjective disagreement on the value of the player. That shouldn't be a disagreement on the execution of the plan. And by using it as a disagreement on the execution of the plan, like you're kind of shading the actual positive execution. That's what you grade who's being run better. Are you getting the positive execution? Because you negative execution too, right? And the Knicks for 20 years have plenty of examples of, negative execution. But this is a little bit different, right? This isn't the bombastic owner or GM saying that New York is back, right? Or that they are going to build New York. This is a very business-oriented, player, individual-oriented front office. And what I'm saying is they've hit on literally everything they wanted to do. And instead of giving them that credit, we want to collectively say, oh, you want to give Jalen Brunson $110 million. Like, he's earned the money, and that's what the market's going to dictate. And even if they did do that, that's still going to be $20 million less than Russell Westbrook, which everybody doesn't want on their team for some reason, right? So, like, even if they did bring that in, so he's making $2 million more than Julius Randle, you still have a max slot available, and neither one of Randle or Brunson need to be the number one guy.
Don't you have to get ready to pay RJ?
They can go over because of bird rights.
Yeah, they could go over because of bird rights. Yeah.
So here,
so your big three is Jalen Brunson, whatever you turn into Julius Randle, and whatever you turn Julius Randle into, and RJ Barrett.
The issue is, I think that's not what Leon Rose is doing. I think Leon Rose is going for a big four. And the Nets can't do that.
Yeah, that was four that I counted. I said Brunson, whatever you turn into Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and then whoever they get.
Yeah, my bad. I thought I heard three.
No. So is the one of the four currently there?
Yes.
That's okay. Who is that?
Two
RJ Barrett, right?
Will be there if Jalen Brunson signs. It's RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson.
Okay. So I'm missing what? The two they need a wing and a big.
They need a wing and a big. And this is where it gets interesting because, like, I think Mitchell Robinson can actually be a big and work. I like Mitchell Robinson, and he's going to sign a team-friendly contract because he seems to get hurt, right? So, like, if he pans out to be a double-double, even on the low-end Clint Capella style, right, then you're only missing a wing and whatever else you want. So they go into next year's offseason, which is an underrated free agency class, with the salary cap to sign outright a max player in a sign and trade or as an unrestricted free agent. Plus, then they can trade Julius Randle and Evan Fournier or whatever contract they want for another max player. And then they sign RJ Barrett to his extension. And, like, you'll be better off cap-wise than Los Angeles, Golden State, Brooklyn, Philly, Miami, Dallas. Like, that is the definition of a well-run organization. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm telling you you're wrong because your whole opinion is built on all these hyperboles and things happening that haven't happened and won't happen for a year plus.
Well,
You're
that's what
projecting. You're projecting, and we have no baseline evidence that history treats the Knicks kindly, or that anyone is going to want to go sign up to be a big four with fucking.
Nobody wanted to go play for the Nets
RJ Barrett.
Excited.
Give me a break, Chris.
What? Why are you so anti-RJ?
I'm not anti-RJ. He's fine. His peers in his draft class have surpassed.
What are your odds right now? You think of RJ Barrett becoming one of the top 8 guards in the league?
0.0 repeating.
Okay. What are the odds that Jalen Brunson is one of the top 8 guards in the league?
See, like, what's funny is he just said I'm projecting into the future, but then he's going to agree with your questions projecting into the future.
He asked me a question about the future.
Yeah.
I answered.
I asked him what he thinks. What are the odds? What are the odds?
I think the odds are actually better than what you guys would give. Like, he's joined company that only 8 people or 7 people before him have done. So, like, that already shows that he has the ability to do it. He's improved every single year. He is a gym rat working on his game every single day. That's what they want. They want Brunson, and that's why y'all need to tune in to Live from the Mecca tonight with Shawn with the W, Cedric Shine, and Jeff J. Seth.
Chris, can I say this real quick? If Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett were on.
Gotta go. See you tomorrow, 10:30. Check out Live from the Mecca, 7:30. Check out the Rewind and Dimes Bank mashup, 8 o'clock. I'm 5 minutes over extending. Peace out, everybody.